I'll let you know when it's live. Alright, go ahead, just open up.
Good. Alright, Shalom. Alright, we the Hebrew Israelites coming at you week in and week out to prophesy the downfall of this wicked ass nation known as Babylon the Great. Alright, the well-favored harlot. Okay? First and foremost, we want to give all praises and glory unto
YAHAWAH, YAHAWASHI, YAHAWAH.
Double honors to the elders apostles of Great Millstone, and much blessings and salutations to the Akim and the Aquathium for diligently listening and doing what they're supposed to do in the spirit. All right. So this week we want to get into to what's coming to America. All right. What's coming to Babylon the Great. What's coming to that well-favored harlot. Okay. Because as we see and as we look, okay, we see a lot of judgment that's happening. We see a lot of precursors to judgment that's going to happen. And it's very beautiful in the eyes of the Lord. All right, it's very beautiful in the eyes of the men of the Lord. Okay? Because the things that are happening have all been ordained. They've all been prophesied about. And that's the times that we're getting into, man. If you want to get that in Matthew 24 first. Start at the top. Or start at verse 3.
Yep. Matthew chapter 24, verse 3. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world?
So the disciples of who you inwardly call Jesus Christ, they asked him, what are going to be the signs of your coming? And what are going to be the signs of the end of the world? And when you go into that word world there in the Greek, that's eon, meaning a specific time, a certain rulership.
An age.
An age. All right, in that specific age, that certain rulership, that period of time is the period in time, the age of the so-called white man, the Edomites, of their rulership. So the disciples were asking Yahawashi, when was going to be the end of that era, man? All right, the end of that time. Go ahead.
God. Verse 4. And Yahawashi answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am Hamashiach, and shall deceive many.
And that word Mashiach that the brother read, all right, in the scriptures it says Christ, but it means anointed. So many were going to come out and say that they were the anointed, but what? They were deceiving the people. All right, and we have that all throughout the world, man. You have these Christian pastors, all right, and within Israel, the Israelites that know that they're Israelites, all right, you have false prophets amongst that too. Okay, go ahead.
Right, verse 6. And ye shall hear, yep, and ye shall.
These are all the signs. Once verse 4 started, these are all the signs that Yahawashi was giving them, man. So one of the signs of the end times was there's going to be false prophets, man. There's going to be false people out here saying they are the anointed, but they're not, man. Ordained of the Most High, they're not. Go ahead.
Verse 6. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars.
And that's the times that we're living in, man. All right, we heard of the wars. We heard of World War I. We heard of World War II. We heard of Desert Storm, man. All right, we heard of the Vietnam War. We heard of all those wars, man. But what? Now we're in the time of the rumors of wars, man. We're hearing rumors of wars with Russia. We're hearing rumors of wars with Syria,
Iran.
We're hearing with rumors of wars with Iran. We're hearing of rumors of wars with China. We're in rules of wars with everybody in the damn world but America, man. America's at war with everybody but itself, man. And really, they are at war with itself. But that's a different topic, man. All right, we got rumors of wars with Venezuela. All right, that's the times that we're living in, man. Wake up and smell the lamb chops, man. You people out here are lost in the sauce if you don't think that we're in the last days, man. Here it is, who you call Jesus Christ. Yahawashi, Yahweh's only begotten son. And he gave his disciples of the ends of the times, man. And we're living in those end times, man. You see it on the news. You see it in your backdoor neighborhood, man. You see it in your children, as we're going to get into, man. You see it in your leaders. We're living in the last days, man.
That's right.
You had something up?
Yeah, I think we said.
Okay.
It's Matthew chapter 10 and verse 34.
Yep.
Think not that I come to send peace on
And
the earth.
it's a lot. And this is who the world literally calls Jesus Christ speaking, man. This is him speaking. All right, go ahead.
Yeah. Matthew chapter 10 and 34. Think not that I come to send peace on earth. I come not to send peace, but a sword.
So all that's happening around the world, all this chaos, the reason why you don't want to watch the news because you're scared, that's all because of the spirit of YAHAWASHI, man. Because the Lord didn't come to bring peace on earth, as we just read in Matthew chapter 10, verse 34. The Lord came to bring but a sword. And that sword is going to come via war, via pestilence. Okay? Go ahead, Doc. Or was that on that?
That was it.
Go ahead.
All right, back in Matthew 24, verse 7. Nope, verse 6. Verse 6, yeah, verse 6. I didn't finish that yet. Yahawashi is saying, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled.
See that ye be not troubled, man. And he's directing that to his disciples, the elect. Okay?
Who are here again today.
Who are here again today, like the brothers just said, man. Be ye not troubled. And guess what? Those that are not going to be troubled through all this tribulation are going to be the elect, man. Because knowledge and wisdom and understanding is going to be the stability of their times. Because the elect, just like the disciples, they had the understanding of things, man. For the most part. Okay? And it's going to be the same thing on these last days, man.
The disciples that are here today, or the elect that's here today, they have more understanding than the prophets of old.
Yep.
All right. Because what? Because what? Everything is showing them. So all the prophets are actually speaking. They're not a mystery anymore. Back into the book of Matthew 24, verse 6. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled. For all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet.
And that's a point to make, man. All these things that we hear, all these things that we see in right now, they have to come. They're supposed to come. But that doesn't mean that the end is here already, man. For those of you that think, oh man, we weeks away from getting out of here, man.
Don't hold your breath.
Yeah, don't hold your breath. It's right past you. You're gonna die.
You're gonna lose patience.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because the apostles been hoping like that since 2000. Here it is, 2019, and before that.
Yeah. You know, what they've been prophesying towards 2000. After 2000 came and went, and we still here.
You watch all the old videos. They're like, hey, it might be this year, and every year we say the same thing. So, but that's out of hope, man, because we hope it's the last year.
That's right. We're gonna say the same thing every fucking year, and this may be the last year. All right, through the spirit of
and next year we'll say the same thing if we're still here. Yeah,
because it's looking pretty bad for this year.
Yeah, because it's been in the Lord. That's what we're supposed to do, man. The scriptures talk about in the Apocrypha about complaining unto the Lord, continual complaining, man, crying out unto the Lord. Mm-hmm. You know, that's what we're supposed to do, man.
What do you say? Hasten it.
That's what Doug got. I got Doug again. You got it, brother? Okay, come. But that's what the men of the Lord are going to be doing, man. We're going to be hoping and praying and saying that this place is going down every goddamn weekend, man. Every weekend we're going to be out here telling you that this place is going to fall, man. Next year, if we're still here, guess what? We're going to be telling you that this place is going down, man.
That's right.
That America's going to fall, all right? That your government is going to collapse. That your economy is going to collapse. That your women is going to be begging on their knees, man, for some help.
It's in the Bible.
All right? That's what we're prophesying, man. All right? And we're going to continue until the day the Lord deems us not to come out here no more, man. Okay?
I'll read the last part again.
Read it again real quick.
Yep.
Just get that.
It says, Matthew 24, verse 6, It says, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled.
See that ye be not troubled, man.
For all these things must come to pass.
Because they must come to pass.
But the end is not yet.
And you see, when you see these people out here, man, and they hear the words of the Lord, they're troubled because they're not right. If you feel convicted in your spirit, it's because you're not right, man. And the spirit that's gonna repent and the spirit that's gonna change is the spirit of a man of the Lord, man. Because not everybody's gonna change out here, man.
Right.
All right, you got that precept, Sure, bring that up.
From verse 10. This is 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 10. It says, but the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat.
Okay, talking about the nuclear missiles, all right? Because a lot of you people, you're so distracted by what's going on in life that you're not seeing the judgment that's coming, man. And so when this judgment actually comes, you're going to be caught like a thief in the night. You're going to get caught like a thief in the night, man. In the heavens, you're going to see them rolling away like a scroll, man. Talking about the missiles, the nuclear missiles, all right?
The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burned up. Seeing that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of person ought you to be in all holy conversation and godliness?
All right. So all the works of the earth are going to get burned up. All the wickedness that these people have done is going to get burnt up. All the righteousness that the men of the Lord was doing, all the videos, okay, all the signs, all the pamphlets that were being handed out, all that's going to be burnt up, man. Go ahead.
Verse 12. Looking for and hastening unto the coming of the day of the Most High, wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat.
And that's what we're hastening for, man. All right, read that again from the beginning of that last precept.
I'm going to read verse 13 after that as well. Too. It says, verse 12, 2 Peter 3 and 12. Looking for and hastening unto the coming of the day of the Most High.
Let me stop you right there. It said looking for, man. Looking for. Okay. What the looking for?
Yeah.
Go ahead, bring that up.
It's 2 Esdras chapter 2 and verse 13. Go, and ye shall receive. Pray for a few days unto you, that they may be shortened. The kingdom is already prepared for you. Watch.
Watch, man. Look, man. Watch. It's already prepared for us, man. We're just waiting for it to happen.
And who's the ones really watching? The ones watching are the prophets.
The watchmen.
Yeah, the watchmen.
Yep.
The seers, right?
Yeah,
which is the same thing.
Yeah.
The heralds.
Yeah. The heralds, yeah. Go ahead with that, brother.
Continuing on, this is 2 Peter chapter 3, verse verse 12 and 13. Looking for and hastening unto the coming of the day of the Most High, wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved.
And real quick, man, these people ain't looking forward and hastening for that day, man. You know what they're hastening for? For this paycheck that's coming up next week. They're hastening for the Summer Olympics. They're hastening for all types of wickedness, man. You people are hastening for the weekend, man, for your vacation week that you get off work, man. That's what you haste for, all right? That's what you haste for. You're not hasting for the day of the Lord, like the men of the Lord are, you know? Go ahead, Doc.
And real quick, hey, what's the motto of America right now? Make America great again. So they're not hastening for this place to get destroyed, man. They want to keep going on in this wickedness and this folly, man.
Yeah, a little son. That's their only son, their only child. They want to live. They already got our college fund. They Edomites. They got our college fund set for them. I think this place is gonna go on forever. That's what she said?
Yeah, well, that's what we're doing.
Yeah,
that's what we're doing. We're preaching love, man.
But what's love to us is hate for the rest of the world.
Yeah, exactly, because we're preaching the laws.
Continuing on, verse 13. Nevertheless, we according to his promise, look for a new heaven and a new earth, wherein dwelleth righteousness.
He said, nevertheless, we hope for, and what else is saying?
It says, nevertheless, we according to his promise, look for a new heaven and a new earth, wherein dwelleth righteousness.
So we're looking forward to that, man. We're looking forward to the kingdom of heaven, man. And that's not going to come the way you people think it's going to come. It's not coming via a bunch of men coming from the clouds that hand out roses to the entire world, man. like the brother brought out in Matthew chapter 10, it's coming via a sword. That's how the kingdom of heaven is going to get here. Via a sword.
Yeah.
And the brother also read in the second Ezra, he said that the kingdom is already prepared for you. Yeah. See? So it's all there. All right? You know, it's already set. All we got to do is endure and stay on to the end.
Yep. Exactly, man. We just got to endure, which, if you want to get in that Matthew 24, if you still have that.
Yeah,
I think
24 and 13.
13?
Yeah.
There you go.
I'll just get right to it. So Matthew chapter 24 and 13 is still YAHAWASHI speaking. It says, but he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved.
So those that are going to be saved in these last days through all the judgments that are getting ready to come, those are going to be those that endured. Okay? And I ain't talking about you just survived. Because there are going to be many of people that survived, but did you endure through the Spirit? Did you endure in the Spirit, man? Did you hold fast unto the words of YAHAWASHI, the true names of the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son? Did you endure to that, man?
Okay. Hey, because you got people on a just to use an example, you got people on the football field, they'll endure to the very last second. But the crowd, the audience, they've been enduring the whole time, but they didn't do nothing. You know, they're just there. Just like the people that aren't like the brother said, just because they're there don't mean they endured. You know, they seen the game, they watched it, don't mean they endured. You know,
They didn't take part in the blood, sweat, and tears. All right, they were just spectators. So ultimately, they're not going to get the prize. They're not going to get the paycheck at the end.
Because that's why the scriptures say, "He that runneth the race, runneth to receive the prize."
Yeah.
You can be watching all you want on TV or standing on the sidelines. You're not going to get a prize, you know, even though you sat there 12 hours watching a race. You don't get a prize for watching, you know.
No, you get a bill.
Yeah, exactly. You got to pay up. You got to pay it up.
You got to pay up, brother. We're still in Matthew 24. We're going to skip down to verse 22. It says, this is still YAHAWASHI speaking. Still. And except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved.
Hey, and I'm going to say this, man. Donald Trump just got elected in 2016, man, and he's getting ready to go up for re-election, man. Those 4 years went by like nothing, man.
Some of the brothers weren't even in the camp when he got elected. Goddamn.
I remember when he first came into office, and the other day I was listening to the news public radio, and they say he's doing his re-election bid starting
in Orlando.
I was like, damn, it's already that time, man. I was like, shit, the last 4 years went by quick. Read that again, Bubba Kishore.
Matthew 24 and 22. Except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened.
So for the elect's sake, the Bukharium, those days are going to be short, man. Those days are all going to go by quick, man. We're going to be, the elect is going to be beamed up into them chariots, man, and they're going to be like, God dang. It was just only a couple days ago, it seems like I was still out there teaching this truth, man. It only seems like a couple days ago that the RFID microchip got implemented, man.
Yeah. That's why it's already halfway through 2019, man.
Yep. More than halfway through.
Yeah, we over halfway. Going
About to
We
be
just had the
7.
summer solstice.
Yeah.
The longest day of the year.
So-called, yeah.
That's the halfway point of the year, man. All right.
Yeah, we're getting ready to go into the so-called 7th month.
Yep.
All right. So that means we in the latter stage of this year.
We in the grunt months.
The Grego.
Yeah. You know, as it was done by the Elder Prophet Sahara. So you're correct, man. As you can see all this biometric shit happening. These things have to happen. It's the only way for the kingdom to be able to be established. It's first these things have to be established. All right, as the scriptures say.
Yeah, if I can say, you know, how the scripture said it wasn't for the elect's sake, no flesh should be saved. And that's why the scripture say the earth is defiled under the inhabitants thereof. If it wasn't for the elect, like it said in Genesis 6 chapter, you know, the wickedness of men was great on the earth, you know, and repented the Most High that He made man on the earth.
Yeah.
But, you know, because of who? Because of, you know, the righteous man in that generation being Noah, you know, the whole earth was saved, you know, as far as men being here on the earth.
And we're all representatives of Noah, man. The electors.
And even before that, Enoch,
Yeah,
the Most High took Enoch out of here so he wouldn't be defiled with all the wickedness, man. And that was the first example of how we gonna be saved, man. Because Enoch, he was delivered. Yeah, he was transliterated, kind of.
He was beam me up, Scotty.
Yeah, exactly. Hey man, the whole Old and New Testament is full of examples how we're gonna be saved, man. But you gotta have that spiritual eye to see it, though.
It's not fairy tales. These things happen. It's just history book. All right.
But this is 2nd Edges chapter 9 and verse 8. No, verse 7. Slack it. 2nd Edges chapter 9, start at verse 7. And everyone that shall be saved.
Start at 6.
2nd Edges chapter 9 and verse 6. Yep. Even so, the times also of the highest have plain beginnings and wonders, and powerful works.
When you read through the scriptures, man, you see those wonders and you see the works, man. You read about King David and the things that he did. All right, you read about Moses and splitting the sea, man. You hear about the Noah and the ark, man. All right, and the deliverance of Israel out of Egypt. Those are the signs and wonders, man. All right, but go ahead.
Continuing, and endings and effects and signs.
And endings and effects and signs, man. And those are the days that we're living in, man. In the days of effects, meaning cause and effect. Because this happened, this is what's going to result out of it. Those are the times that we're living in, man. We're living in the time of effects. We're living in the times of signs. Okay? Because as we see these rumors of wars, as we see these technological advances, we see that those are signs to what's about to come, man.
And even the sun and moon and the stars, man. Like Genesis, what was that? Genesis 1 said they were made for signs.
You got eclipses, blood moons,
super moons,
eclipses,
blue moons.
Yep.
That's why it says, "Be not dismayed at the signs."
Exactly.
So these people, the heathens, they're dismayed at them. They don't know what's going on.
They'll pray to that shit.
They'll pray. Well, that's the Issachar used to go off on that shit, or Issachar, the Northern Kingdom, doing the sacrifices on the full moons and whatnot, the eclipses.
So a lot of witchcraft was going on yesterday.
Yeah. That explains why so many Edomites I picked up on Uber was bugged out.
Continuing 2nd Edges chapter 9 and verse 7. And everyone that shall be saved and shall be able to escape by his works and by faith.
And by faith.
Works and faith.
Reiterating what is said in the New Testaments, man. Or
James.
the New Testament is reiterating what's said in the Old Testament. All right, because the Apocrypha is the Old Testament. Read that again, Brother John.
2nd Edges chapter 9 and verse 7. And everyone that shall be saved and shall be able to escape by his works and by faith, whereby ye have believed, shall be preserved from the said perils.
The said perils, man. The said things that were told to the prophets that would come in the last days, man. Which is pestilence, death, mass chaos, okay? A sword. All those things were promised by the Lord, the Heavenly Father, that would come on the last days. And only a fool would keep on walking, man.
And you go to that word perils, it means dangerous times, savage, time of destruction. Just like what was the chapter of the day was First Timothy 3, I think. The first verse, it said in the last days peril times shall come. Yeah, get that real quick to go with that. Go get that real quick, and read that again, Baba Shaw.
2nd Edges chapter 9 and verse 7. No, it was verse 8. 2nd Edges chapter 9 and verse 8. Shall be preserved from the said perils.
See, so these people that show their faith and their works, which you can go to the book of James to see what that's talking about, because you got to have, to show your faith, you got to have works, and to have works, you got to have faith. But the faith and the works and the belief is going to get them through these said perils. And so let's see what it's talking about. What time it's talking about? Go ahead.
2 Timothy chapter 3 verse 1. This know also that in the last days.
Same thing YAHAWASHI was talking about in Matthew chapter 24. Go ahead.
In the last days, perilous times shall come. For men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous.
And when you go into Matthew chapter 24, he talks about that, man. About lovers about themselves, man. That the love of many shall wax cold.
Yeah, there's actually in verse 21, right before the verse I read last. It says lovers of themselves.
But real quick, the point I wanted to get at was because it said in the last days. And that's why he said that in the book 2 Ezra 9, it said they that be saved from the said perils. The said perils are in the last days, like the brother just read.
This is 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 1. Know this also, that in the last days perilous times shall come. And those days and perilous times, and we can basically pull anybody up out of this earth and ask them, do you believe in the last days? Well, you know, according to what we see on TV, it looks like we are in the last days. Yeah, it seems like we're in the last days. But they don't really understand the gravity of what they're saying. These are indeed the last days. And they don't understand that in the scriptures it says perilous times, like the brother was saying. That's dangerous times. Danger is coming.
Savage.
Harm is coming. Savage times are coming. Times that have never before
difficult.
been seen on,
On
this earth.
difficult.
Yeah, the straight case coming. The real straight case coming. Go ahead.
Quick, get that precept.
This is the book of Luke, chapter 21, and verse 9. It says, you know, going into what the brothers are going into in the book of Matthew is about the wars and rumors of wars. It's just worded a little different here. It says, Luke 21 and 9. But when you should hear of wars and commotions, be not terrified, for these things must first come to pass, but the end is not by and by.
So those perilous times, all right, the beginning of those perilous times, guess what? That's just the beginning of the times that we're coming.
Yeah, beginning of sorrows.
Yeah, the beginning of sorrows, man. But like the brother just read. Read that last part again, but for sure.
This is Luke 21 and 9. But when you should hear of wars and commotions, be not terrified, for these things must first come to pass, but the end is not by and by.
The end is not by and by, man. Meaning it's not here yet, man. But it's gonna come a time real soon where it is.
And it says, be not terrified, and that's that comfort.
Yeah.
You know, because looking around like, damn, a lot of shit's going on, you know,
Yeah.
but the comfort is the Most High is going to keep his promise.
Yep.
Yes, 2 Ezra chapter 9 and verse 8. I'll read it again. 2 Ezra chapter 9 and verse 7. And everyone that shall be saved and shall be able to escape by his works.
Select it real quick. It said, everyone that shall be saved. That's a cut on you Christians, man. Because you Christians like to go out and teach about how everybody's going to be saved. But the scriptures just said, and everyone that shall be saved. Meaning there ain't going to be, there's people that ain't going to be saved. All right? Go ahead.
Continuing. Shall be able to escape by his works and by faith, whereby ye have believed, shall be preserved from the said perils, and shall see my salvation in my land and within my borders. For I have sanctified them for me from the beginning.
What's that salvation? The what you call UFOs, man. That's what that's talking about. That's what they're gonna see, man. That's what the elect is gonna see. The UFOs come down and deliver them. Okay? And you other people are gonna see it too, man.
Their enemies shall behold them as they go up. Yeah.
It said sanctified from them from the beginning. That's that predestination.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, of course it's about faith and works, but it's also about predestination.
Because if you weren't predestinated, you're not gonna have the faith or the works.
You'll never be given.
Yeah, or you might have the works, but you weren't predestinated to have the faith. So you know, it's all about predestination.
Yeah, you can't have one and not the other.
Yeah. Really, like the brother said, it really goes back to predestination, man. Either you was chosen or you wasn't chosen. That's why scripture say many are called, few are chosen, man. Cause you could be out here 20 years and still not make it, man. Because you weren't chosen or predestinated. And then you got to be predestinated from before the foundations of the earth. So, you know, it's not like you woke up the other day and, you know.
Hey, that shows you the pride of the Christian. You know, already they think they're saved. Like,
Yeah. I accepted the Lord Jesus. Yeah.
But like the brother just read, the brother here just read, he was breaking down. He's saying that all those that shall be saved, again, that's alluding to the fact that not everybody's going to be saved. It says it in the Bible, so not everybody's going to be saved, just what the scriptures say. Let me bring out this precept real quick.
Real quick, I don't know if this is what you're about to bring up. Didn't the scripture say that there be more that perish than that be saved? You know, roughly paraphrasing.
This is the book of 2 Ezra, chapter 16, verse. I'll start at 17. It says, "Woe is me, woe is me. Who will deliver me in those days?"
Why did Ezra say that, man? Because of the things that he saw. He saw the judgment. He saw the wickedness that was happening out here, man. Happening out here. And he knew that, damn.
And that's
it's going to take a special person to get the fuck up out of this.
And that's the thing. He didn't. This was before the time of YAHAWASHI, so he's like, oh shit. Like, who's gonna save us out of this? Even though they prophesied of YAHAWASHI, but when he was looking at his vision, you know, he would come out of it throwing up, puking, because this is thousands of years ago.
And it's clearly thousands of years.
Yeah.
It's clearly a long way ahead. If you look at his visions, all right. And the man's probably seeing skyscrapers, seeing nuclear bombs. You don't know what the hell that is.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Yeah. Seeing cars,
cars driving around. You know, like
AKs.
What the fuck is this shit? So he says, "Woe is me." The second Ezra chapter 16, verse 17. "Woe is me, woe is me. Who will deliver me in those days? The beginning of sorrows and great mourning."
Beginning of sorrows and great mourning, man. Those are the days of the Lord, man. The days of great sorrow and great mourning, man. That's when it tells the day of YAHAWASHI, the day of the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son, man. Sadness, misery for you fucking heathens, man.
That's right. Okay? Sorrows, yeah. The beginning of sorrows and great mournings. The beginning of famine and great death. The beginning of wars, and the powers shall stand in fear.
God, the beginning of wars, and we're in the time of the beginning of wars, man. We see the tensions rising with Iran. We see the tensions rising amongst the allies of America, man. All right, going into that Revelation 17, man. All right, we see the enemies of YAHAWASHI coming up against this truth, man. We see those things happening in the internet, getting shut down. YouTube getting even stricter. That's all those what was that?
Oh, I got you. It says the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the powers shall stand in fear.
And the internet getting shut, you know, YouTube getting stricter. That's the beginning of wars, man. Against this truth, against this word being stopped, trying to get stopped, man.
Right.
That's all the beginning of it, man. These are the beginning stages of these things, man. Go ahead.
It really, so like real quick, it's beginning of Jacob's trouble.
Yep. Beginning of Jacob's trouble.
Yeah, here in Babylon. It's coming, brothers. The beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment.
Scourges, man. My brother wants to get that
Shalom.
word in the etymology real quick, or I'll get it.
And I'll read the next verse. "But for all these things they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges."
So let's get that word scourges. I spelled it right.
I got you. I'll spell it for you. S-C
Amendment means for change,
SCO.
for correction.
R-G-E-S. Say it again.
Amendment means to change or correction. Just like they have amendments to the Constitution. Meaning they're changing it. Yep. C-SPAN 1, 2,
Alright, so
and 3.
Scourge in the etymology says from the 13th century to whip, all right, to afflict, often for the sake of punishment or purification. All right, so you see, it said often for the sake of punishment. Who's that punishment going to come to? These heathens. Who's the purification going to come to? The 2/3, because they got to get purified, man, through the fire. So all these things that are getting ready to come, the beginning of Jacob's trouble, all that's for the punishment and the purification of the Israelites, man. Okay, that's the times that we're coming into. That's the times that we're coming into, man. All right, we're coming into the beginning of the end. All right.
No,
No, it's telling me 16 and 19.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's 2nd Ezra 16, verse 19. Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment.
Remember.
It's like it. But for all these things, they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be outweighed.
All these things are happening, they're not turning from the wickedness. Because like brought out, 2 Timothy, the 3rd chapter, you know, people are just going to be followers after their own lust, you know, their own will, so to say. Here it is, we're saying it's the end of the world, and people walk by and waving their hand, and you know, because they're stuck in their ways, and that's why Moses said, "Let the multitude perish, which is born in vain." They're just like it says in Job 27, if the wicked be multiplied for the sword, you know, that's that vessel of dishonor. These people walking past and scoffing and scorning, and that's just because they're getting. It's all in the day. It's about prophecy, you know, and this is all leading up to the Most High show, the showdown. You know, we got Joel the 3rd chapter, you know, YAHAWASHI, you know, this is all coming down to the day of the Lord. That's what we're talking about. The day of YAHAWASHI. That's what it's all about.
Hey, that's what we get excited for, man. You people get excited for your weekends. You get excited for July the 4th. You know, I got the one nigga in the neighborhood, and he's the only one with the July the 4th decorations all throughout the yard. Got Uncle Sam on the front lawn, the air blow up doll. Got the July the 4th banners all up throughout the house. You're the only nigga in the neighborhood. but you going all out for July the 4th, man.
I was just about to say, July 4th, 1776, bro. It was like 1855 when your ass was emancipated.
And even then, the Declaration still didn't change. Right. Even when they was emancipated.
Shit got worse after they got free.
Yep, Jim Crow laws.
And the time of their calamities that came to an end, you was still over there kicking them while it was down.
Yep. You see, but hey, go ahead, finish that. Go ahead. That's that drunkenness stuff. You know,
it says, but for all these things they shall not turn from their wickedness.
They shall not turn from their wickedness, man. And it's clear and evident that not only are the Israelites not turning from their wickedness, but these other people, they ain't repenting for what they did. You think these Edomites, they're repenting of what they done unto the children of the Lord? Do you think they're repenting of what they've done around the world? Yeah. Hell no, man. They don't give a damn.
Yeah, repent basically means to feel sorry. That's why it says Esau found no place of repentance. He don't give a shit. He's never going to say, oh, I was wrong and I feel bad for you. None of that stuff. You know, because he's just that man of sin, you know, the wicked that the Bible speaks of.
And not only did he not give a fuck about what he did to the children of Israel, but he didn't care. He don't feel sorry about giving away the birthright, man. He's so prideful that he thinks in his heart that it still belongs to him. So he's doing everything in his power to continue with that, man.
His only concern is the fatness of the earth, man.
That's all that was given to him. So why should he care about anything else?
The largest desire is help. That's all he does is destroy.
Exactly, he's not spiritual. Yep. He only can use the force of the sword.
Only concern is the fatness of the earth.
That's it. And with a sword, like they said, he treats, a hammer. You know, you only can treat, if you're a hammer, you only can treat every situation as a nail. You know what I mean? It's dangerous, you know?
Yeah, and all he cares about is gain. He cares about, like you said, the fatness of the earth. But look at the state of the earth. If it goes on too long, it's going to be all gone. You know, that just shows how it's all kinds.
It says, but for all these things they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges.
Read that again.
Verse 20, but for all these things they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges.
So they're not mindful of the scourges. When your parents scourge you, what does that mean? They whoop your ass. They correct you. But you people ain't mindful of that, man. You go off, you commit adultery, and on the way home you get in a mean-ass car accident. You don't take mindful of that. You don't take mindful of that scourge, man. That was the Lord directly telling you, you fucked up. And I was trying to take you out.
That's what that homo said, right?
Yeah.
On his way leaving, he said he scraped the car up and didn't tell the brothers why he scraped the car up. Like, yeah, well, what the fuck you think, nigga?
That was the Lord.
You know?
Judging your ass for getting popped in the ass. So a lot of you people, majority of you people, I say that you don't take heed to the warnings of the Lord.
Yeah, you know, like they don't recognize that as judgment.
Yeah.
Some bad shit happening, they don't sit back and think like, hold on. Well, maybe I'm not living my life right. I'm doing something wrong. You know, they don't click in their head like, oh, well, You know, I just got to get a new car now. No, man.
Everybody else is wrong, but you're right.
Yeah.
You're the one that got fucked up, but everybody else wrong. Is that it on that?
They go into victuals, the whole victual stuff.
Okay, we'll go ahead and get that. Yeah.
It's Jeremiah chapter 50, start at verse 22. A sound of battle is in the land.
Kind of, and the sound of the battle is what's happening right now. We went into Matthew chapter 24 earlier, and what did YAHAWASHI say? He said, you shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. That's that sound of the battle, man. That's the sound of the battle getting geared, man. Moving, those pieces moving and getting ready for the Valley of Jehoshaphat, man. That World War III where the Most High is getting ready to kill two birds with one stone, man. That's the times we're getting into, man. With all these things happening around the world, all these things that you people obviously don't see because you're lost in the sauce. That's what we're coming into, man. Go ahead.
And of great destruction.
And of great destruction, man. That's what's coming. Go ahead.
How is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken?
And the brother made an analogy just a bit ago. He said, if you're the hammer, all you see is every situation as a nail. Well, guess what? That's exactly what America does. Why does America do that? Why does America, every situation they see, send the military? Kill them. Because they're the hammer of the whole earth. America is the hammer of the whole earth, man. They're the ones that the judgment comes down, man. They're the ones that when shit goes wrong, they come in to beat you down on your head, man.
They can put evidence out there, like bullshit evidence, and don't have to prove nobody. Like, yeah, this is what happened. You know what I mean? They don't have to prove it. You know, they just put out some bullshit and say, oh, they did it, and don't take it to court and prove that this nation has done that. You know, that, like you say, they just cast for the judgment like they're the authority.
Yep. You know what I mean? I got a quick precept based off of that. Now the scripture says the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. All right, we know that's talking about Esau. All right, this is Genesis 27 and verse 39 and 40. It says, and Isaac, his father answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth and of the dew of heaven from above. And by thy sword shalt thou live, and thou shalt serve thy brother, and it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have dominion, that thou shalt break the yoke off of his neck. But the point there was that it says, and by thy sword shalt thou live. That's why it says, you know, the hammer of the whole earth. Why does he have to be the hammer, man? Because he was given this great sword and to live by that sword, man. So that's how he was going to be able to function on the planet Earth, as being a hammer. He was created to be the hammer of the whole earth, man. The Lord's sword, man. He was going to live by that sword. All right, there's nothing on this planet Earth he was going to be able to get by peaceful words, negotiating or whatever, whatnot. He was going to take it by the force of the sword, man. All right?
Hey, because like we brought in a live feed on Wednesday, you know, Esau does these things because he's in power and can't nobody check him. You know, he's in the power seat, so the things he does, you know, he doesn't get checked for, so to say. You know, like it says in Psalms 73rd chapter, he is not in trouble as other men, he is not plagued as other men, therefore pride can pass him as a chain. You know, it's pride, you know, because can nobody check Esau. That's why he does the things he does, because he's like, who can make more with the beast, pretty much, you know, like we read in Revelation yesterday, you know. So that's why he does these things, because but that ultimate, you know, the balance is the Most High, which he has totally took away, is going to cast him down, you know. And that's what we're getting in Jeremiah 51st chapter, because this is like Babylon the Great falling, like this is the greatest nation ever on earth, you know, and we're at the time of it falling, you know, this is beautiful times right now. This is Jeremiah chapter 50, and I'll read 23 again. How is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? How is Babylon become a desolation among the nations?
You see, and that's going to be the end result of what's coming here to America, man. It's going to be a desolation, man. And these other nations, along with crying, because they're going to be crying because America went down, pursuant to Revelation chapter 18. They're going to be mourning because America went down. But they're going to be wondering, damn, how the hell? I thought this was the greatest place on earth.
Sure.
You know, they're going to be with their hands on their hips, like, damn, what the fuck happened? But it's the judgment of the Lord. Why? Because pursuant to Revelation chapter 18, the sins of this nation have reached onto the heavens, man. And this place is going to get judged in these last days, man. America is not going to continue, man. So saith the Lord. The Lord is getting ready to come back and he bring judgment on America. All right? And the Lord has what's the word? controversy with these people, man. All right? The Lord has a controversy with you Americans, man. The Lord has a controversy with these Edomites that are ruling the world. And you damn right the Lord is justified in bringing the judgment, man. There's nothing but all-out wickedness out here, man. You people are bugged out. Go ahead. Set it on that.
I got a quick. I'm just gonna back that up and you can go on that. It's Isaiah chapter 14, verse 6 and 7.
Where you going?
6 and 7.
14?
14, 6 and 7.
Go ahead then. Yeah, I'll hold it.
It's Isaiah 14, chapter 14, verse 6 and 7. He who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke, he that ruleth the nations in anger is persecuted and none hindereth. All right?
Break it down if you want to.
Let me, I'm going to read verse 7 and I'll go back and break it down. It says, verse 7, the whole earth is at rest and quiet. They break forth into singing. All right, so going back to verse 6, he who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke, that ruleth the nations in anger is persecuted and none hindereth. Hey, like we was going into, the hammer of the whole earth, man. He's ruling the people with an oppressive rod, man. All right, no, and now that he's being taken out of power, nobody's coming to save his ass, man. Nobody's coming to his aid. All right, it's like the bully now is getting beat up, or Debo on Friday, man. Finally, Ice Cube knocked Debo out. You think anybody coming to help him? You know, ain't nobody coming to help him. Now they all breaking forth and rejoicing because now they can chill now, right?
Yeah, taking the spoils like they did Debo. They took his chain, got his chain back.
Yeah.
You know, everybody's gonna get their inheritance back.
My grandmama gave me this chain, man.
As soon as thou cease to spoil, the remnant of the people shall spoil thee.
Yep.
That's in Isaiah, I believe, 33 or 30. You down with that?
Yeah, it says the whole earth goes forth singing, you know, because why? Because the righteous is going to be put in authority. You know, the wicked is in authority, that's why the people are mourning. They don't want to admit it, you know, but that's why they come out here to drink and, you know, give a, what is, I don't know what the term is, but, you know, to escape the sorrows of the world. Escapism, you know?
I got a quick precept to go with what the brother was just reading. This is Jeremiah chapter 51 and verse 9. It says, we would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her, and let us go every one into his own country, for her judgment reaches unto heaven, and is lifted up even to the skies. You know, so like the brother was saying, man, this place ain't going to be healed, man. People thinking that they're going to be able to help out America and get it by, or we just all come together and... No, man, there ain't going to be no coming together, man, to heal this place, man. This place is coming down whether you like it or not, man. Okay? You had something real quick? Okay, what you got? You still had that in Jeremiah.
This is Isaiah, chapter 33, verse 1. Woe to thee that spoilest, and thou wast not spoiled.
Hey, and America was not spoiled, man. When can you go into the history of America and say that another nation came over here and took over, man?
That's why it's known as the Persian.
Persians over there, man. Exactly, man. Yeah, nobody come in and penetrated America, man. You had Pearl Harbor, but that's not America, man. That was just self-inflicted. That was self-inflicted, yeah. Yeah, they knew it was coming. You know? But America's never been penetrated, man. So go ahead.
Woe to thee that spoilest, and thou wast not spoiled. And
like the brother brought out earlier, Salakia, Habakkuk chapter 2. You know? Hey, you go around, America goes around spoiling all these other nations. You go into Iraq, you go into Afghanistan, you go into Venezuela, all right? You go and take all these people's resources, you change up their government and ruin these people's countries and lives. But guess what? You weren't spoiled. Nobody ever did that to you. But guess what? Now the time's getting ready where you are going to be spoiled, man.
Woe to thee that spoilest, and thou wast not spoiled, and dealt treacherously.
Hey,
and they...
It's like, because the word woe means destruction, man. It said, woe unto you that has spoiled and has not been spoiled, man. America goes around and spoiling everybody, but no one has ever come to America and exploited America for their goods, man. Well, guess what? It's getting ready to happen, man.
That's right.
It's getting ready to happen, man. You Americans are finished, man. your whole life and the way you live life is over with, man. Enjoy it while you can. Go ahead.
Because, you know, and the reason why, you know, great judgment is going to come upon them, because no one's protesting against the government. As long as they can live their life so-called freely, so to say, they don't give a fuck about what's happening in Iran. They don't care what's happening in Syria. And they know it's taking place. They know it's taking place. That's why when that judgment comes, that's why these nations are not going to spare. They're not going to spare nobody over here, man. Because they know that this shit is taking place over these other countries. They know that America's going exploiting other countries, but they're not saying that to their own government, man. You know? So they cool with it. So if you cool with it, well, that makes you accessory of the crime. You cool with it. You didn't do it, but you cool with what they're doing, man. You nothing about it. Yeah, you didn't do nothing about it. Like when we were in slavery. You know, the other nations didn't do nothing about it. They can say, oh, we won. But you
we're with it.
Yeah,
you
but,
agree.
But y'all need to come up and say, oh, y'all need to stop doing what y'all doing to these people. So vice versa, man. All right? It says, and they dealt not treacherously with thee. So you can see the scripture say eye for eye, tooth for tooth. All right? Which is rightfully so. But what if I dealt not treacherously with you? Then you dead ass wrong for taking my eye out. I didn't take your eye out. But that's what America does. America goes out taking everybody's eye out, taking everybody's tooth out, but nobody took their eye out. Nobody took their tooth out.
You looked at me wrong.
Yeah, you know.
I'm going to take your eye out for looking at me wrong.
That's unrighteous, man. You know. It says, when thou shalt cease to spoil. Right?
I'll cease.
All done. Let's preach love.
Yeah.
Let's come together. Right?
And even in there, when even the scriptures say that, when they shall say peace and safety, then shall sudden destruction come. You know, so even in the times when these government officials decide to say, oh, guns drawn, you know, or guns put away, everybody, let's just agree to disagree. You know, even then they're plotting against you, man.
Hey, what's beautiful about that, the scripture is I shall stir up the Medes against them, right? And they shall not regard neither gold nor silver. So they can't be bargained with. So when you cease to spoil, try to make a deal, it ain't nothing you can do.
Nope.
The Lord already got their mind set to
no trades,
yeah, exactly.
no I heart you letters, none of that, man. When the Medes, the king of the Medes, decide to strike this place, man, you best believe that judgment is going to come from them, man. And it's all according to the Lord. The Lord's going to, because the scriptures say that the way of man is not of his own, but the Lord directed the steps. So everything that anybody on this planet Earth does is because the Lord sanctioned it. So when these nations from the kings of the Medes, which are the so-called Russians, all right, when they decide to bring the judgment, when they bring the hammer down on America, guess what? It's going to come. It's going to come. And we see it happening. And like because judgment coming from the Most High. And as we read in Jeremiah chapter 50, Bubba Shark, get Jeremiah 50 verse 9. Because this is what the Lord is doing. All right? And we see it happening in the news, if you're paying attention to the news. Go ahead.
Jeremiah chapter 50 and verse 9. For lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon.
He said, I will raise to come up against Babylon. Who is that I? That's talking about the Lord. Okay? And Babylon is talking about America. Okay, go ahead.
An assembly of great nations from the north country.
So who's that great nation coming from the north country? That's talking about Russia, because when you go into the when you go into the time of Israel, during the time that Jeremiah wrote this book, this was when the Babylonian Empire was coming up against Israel. Now Babylon, modern day Babylon, is Iraq. Okay, so when you go to the north country of Iraq, of Babylon, that area up there, that's Russia. Okay, so that's the lands of the Medes. Originally, those were the Medes, but now it's ruled by Russia, because this is a prophecy. All right, so that great north country is talking about Russia, man. But finish that verse, Buck Shark.
And they shall set themselves in array against her.
And it said they shall set herself array against her, meaning they're going to set themselves against her. And it said a great nation. Or read that from the top, Bubba Shark.
I'll read again. Jeremiah chapter 50 and verse 9. For lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon.
Against Babylon, against America. Go ahead.
An assembly nations.
An assembly of great nations. An assembly means a bunch of other people of great nations from the North Country. Get that?
That coalition.
That North Country is America. Now you see America putting sanctions on who? Turkey, against Iran, against North Korea, against China, India. And who are these other nations going with? Who are they saying, hey, I'm going to buy your military equipment? Who are they saying, okay, we're going to put away the petrodollar and we're going to use the petro-yuan to do business? They're doing all that with Russia. So you see, America is getting ready to get set up for the greatest okie-doke, man. All right, the Lord is gathering all these nations, making that great assembly with the North Country, which is Russia, to come and bring the judgment down on America. Get that real quick on Ezekiel.
All right, this is Ezekiel 38, verse 1. And the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, against the land of Magog.
And that's talking about over there again, the land of Russia. That's Gog and Magog. That's another name for that ancient region over there. That's who used to dwell in that region before they got taken over, who you now know as the Edomites over there. Okay, go ahead.
The chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and prophesy against him.
Prophesy against it, go ahead.
And say, Thus saith the Lord, Behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal. And I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws. And I will bring thee forth, and all thine army, horses and horsemen, and all of them clothed with all sorts of armor.
So all the militaries of Russia, all right, they're going to get all drawn up. Go ahead.
Even a great company with bucklers and shields.
And what's that great company? That same great company, that same assembly that we read in Jeremiah 50 of these other nations, man. All right?
Real quick, if I can say, they're going to go into those countries, but how they keep emphasizing bucklers and shields and things like that, this is the main export that Russia's giving out. The S-300s, S-400s, this is where the whole calamities is going on with all these different nations, man. They're not really selling these nuclear missiles that they got, the Satan 1 and Satan 2, the hypersonic avant-garde missile. No, they selling them missile defense systems, man. All right, according to prophecy. And then they're going to actually go into the nations that they sold them to. Go ahead, brother. I got a precept after that. Go ahead.
You got a question?
Yeah. I mean, I love what you guys are saying, but if we were to really listen to the word, why do we start with the white man's destiny? Like I saw that sign when, you know, I'm not white at all, but why do we start with that? I mean, shouldn't we just care about everybody else? About everybody, not everybody else, about everybody.
Okay, well you said, why did we start off with the so-called
that's
white
what
man's
got
judgment?
my attention. The white man's destiny.
Can I ask a question? Where you from?
Guatemala.
Guatemala? Okay. What was Guatemala named before the Los Españoles?
It had a Mayan name, but it was Guatemala, and it encompassed
So would you agree
Mexico all the way to Panama.
So
right?
would you agree that Guatemala, the country as you know it today, was conquered by certain people?
It had to be. It was in the plan. It had to be conquered.
It was in the plans. You're right about that.
Yeah.
In what plans though? The plans
That's
of the
why
Heavenly
I'm
Father.
listening. That's why I'm listening.
Well,
right?
that's why we up here to teach. It was in the plans of the Heavenly Father.
Yeah.
Right?
So if he's I don't know his name. If he's calling Babylon America, then
Okay, hold on. Because you asked why we got these signs, the white folks.
yeah.
What's the sign at? Okay, yeah.
Right there.
Yeah. The same thing that the so-called white man did unto us,
They did to Guatemala.
they did to well, because I'm your people. These are your people right here.
Well, I consider everybody my people.
Well, that's not what the Bible says. This is like you got it.
And can I pull out Jeremiah 30 and 16? Go ahead. There's a precept to answer your question, all right?
Right.
You said it's a part of the plan, right?
And I try to read it. You
All
know,
right, but you said it's a part of the plan. We're going to read your whole plan. This is Jeremiah chapter 30 and 16. Therefore, all that devoured thee shall be devoured, and all thy adversaries, every one of them, shall go into captivity.
So who devoured the Guatemalans, the ancient Mayans?
Yeah.
The conquistadors, right?
Conquistadores.
When
España.
Christopher Colón came over there, he went to South, Central and South America, right? And
He came to America. Well, it wasn't.
He didn't come to North America.
It wasn't Colon. It was Americos Vespucio.
He
That
came
was his
before,
name.
yeah.
So he knows.
So you
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
he knows some history.
Well, at all.
Americo Vespucci never came to North America.
No.
But he came to the rest of it. But nonetheless, our people were conquered by another people. I'm not gonna say who yet.
So you just said whoever devoured, right?
Would
Let
become
him read it
what?
again.
Would become what?
Let him read them again.
Book of Jeremiah, chapter 30, verse 16. Therefore, all that devoured thee shall be devoured, and all thy adversaries, every one of them, shall go into captivity. And
Wait.
all that spoil thee shall be a spoil, and all that prey upon thee will I give for a prey.
Okay, so
who
would go into captivity, right? So does that mean that the slaves had something before they became slaves? Yeah. I mean, they became captivity, right? They were.
Wait, repeat that question?
I know he's saying he said those that are in captivity now, did they do something before?
Yeah. So
Did they have something before? That's talking about the Israelites.
Yeah. So I mean, and
Now,
I just stopped here because I like it.
okay. So go ahead. Ask your question.
No, so with that being said, he asked about the white man's destiny. That was what caught his attention. That's what he said.
Yeah.
Did not the scripture just say, all they that spoil thee shall be forspoiled? The Lord deals with judgment. So that's why it says that. Because the Lord said, all those that spoiled us, so that nation that spoiled the nation of Israel, which are you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, they going to be spoiled. That's why you have this precepts right there. Everything that we have up here, we can refer it back to the scripture.
So,
that's all I want to say.
So you think in 1,000 years from now, the white men are gonna be slaves?
Oh, we know. We know for 100%.
We're gonna get it real quick.
I don't know.
Go ahead.
Oh man, you're gonna put me in YouTube.
No, don't put him on camera.
If you don't want to be on camera, don't put it on.
Go ahead. We're gonna read out the Bible and show you that 1,000 years from now they're gonna be in slavery. Go ahead.
But no, okay, hold on. But that's from how many years ago?
It's called prophecy. Do you believe?
Yeah, but I mean, come on.
There ain't no and yeah. Do you
Even when
believe?
But when the Mayans found about timing and stuff,
Mayans didn't write the
a
Bible.
year.
The Mayans-
No, I know.
The Mayans had time.
The calendar, was that a year or was that 500
Second
years?
Chronicles 7:32.
Or was it 30 years?
Who are the Mayans? Real quick. Who are the Mayans today?
They're gone.
Says who?
I mean, I'm still part Mayan.
Where was the Mayan Empire then?
In Guatemala.
Guatemala, this is
Mexico.
Central America,
Yeah.
right? Okay. You got that up? Let me know when you get it. I'm gonna show you who the Mayans were before they were called Mayans.
Wait, if I can tell you though, my opinion is that
Your opinion.
That's where we gotta stop you right there. We don't care about
that. The
opinions.
Mayans came from Asia.
Okay.
According to who?
Yeah.
Show me some proof.
Hold up. Let's. I'm gonna show you who the Mayans were according to the Bible.
I forget, it's 32 and
32, I think, and 10.
and 10. It's like it.
Okay.
I'll find it.
Okay. We're gonna get this. He's got to look for it. But we're gonna get this because you were asking about the so-called white man and why we got so much on this. Because this is a major prophecy. It hasn't happened yet. You haven't seen a so-called white man, the whole nation, go into slavery, right?
I'm not gonna.
And I understand your confusion. Go ahead and read this.
So Revelation chapter 13, start at verse 9. If any man have an ear,
Revelation is the last book of the Bible, right? In Spanish, Revelation is Apocalipsis. Apocalipsis in Spanish means la revelación. So the revealing.
Now you're confusing me.
No, I'm just giving you the understanding porque tú hablas también en español.
I got it.
Go ahead and get that.
Revelation chapter 13 and verse 9. If any man have an ear, let him hear.
So si tú tienes un oído, escucha.
Believe me, I understand.
He that leadeth into captivity
He that leadeth into captivity
shall go into captivity.
shall go into captivity. So the reason why we have this sign, it says the white man's destiny, slavery. The reason why we have this sign. Get that scripture one more time. What was the short?
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 30, verse 16. Therefore, all that devoured thee shall be devoured.
Who is thee? That's talking about the nation of Israel, the real nation of Israel, which is the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Those are the true Israelites. Because when you go through the prophecies of the Bible, we were the ones taken into captivity because we went away from the Most High. We turned away from the Most High. So the Lord brought a sword A sword is an instrument of death. The so-called white man did nothing but bring death to our people. The Native Americans, the so-called blacks, the so-called Latinos, when they conquered us. Why did we speak Spanish? Because we were conquered.
Well, we had to, right? We
didn't have to.
About the same
Well, we
thing.
had to because we went away from the Most High. That's why.
Spanish conquered us. That's why.
All right. So now, real quick, because
No,
he got
but different languages came when the pyramids and everything was being built. So different languages were.
What language did they speak?
started there.
What language did they speak before the conquistadors came?
Yeah, dialect.
What dialect?
What dialect?
There's 23 in Guatemala alone. 23
Okay.
different dialects.
Listen, today. That's today.
No,
There's- they got their own different
They sound
dialect.
like Chinese.
But
Vietnamese, all that.
that's even to this day they still speak that, right? Before they spoke though, before the conquistadors came, what did they speak?
It was different. Depends on which area of Guatemala you went.
Okay.
They had their own.
Okay.
Prior to that.
Well,
Now-
prior to that, I don't know.
Okay, exactly. You can't go that far.
They came from China.
But now let me ask you something. Cuando
I
Christopher,
didn't say China. I said Asia. So
Let-
if you understand it, where is India?
Well, Russia
Where's
connects to
India?
Alaska.
Where's India?
India's in Asia. But so you're saying the Mexicans are
Almost.
Indians?
okay, let me ask you a question. When Christopher Columbus came over here, he came over here with Hebrew interpreters. Why?
Because he thought the dumbass was confused. He didn't know where the hell he was going.
So wait, hold up. He left from Portugal over there near the land of Israel, where they speak Hebrew supposedly, and he came all the way to supposedly the
Didn't
New World
he
where
think he
Hebrew
was gonna
translators.
Well, check this out. He just said, you just mentioned India. He said he was coming to
He
India. So
thought
why would
he
he,
was
hold
going
on,
to
listen,
India.
listen. You said, exactly. So why would he bring Hebrew interpreters to India? Because he knew he wasn't going to India. man.
Exactly.
But really,
That's
he
why they
couldn't
call it
bring
the
Spanish.
the West
He
Indies,
couldn't bring
man.
Spanish people to.
He did.
America?
He would. First
He
of
knew
all,
where he
spoke
was going.
Spanish, but he was an Italian. Cristobal Colon. He was not Spanish.
Cristobal.
He knew Spanish, but
Cristobal.
he was an Italian man.
Cristobal Colon was from Geneva. That's him.
Where's Geneva?
Can I
Italiano.
Get that real quick.
Because my
Hey,
husband-
because you
No,
said
wait.
I'm gonna show you I'm gonna show you according to the Bible who the
Real quick,
Mayans
real
were.
quick, the Mayans.
Okay, so
Who the Mayans were according to the Bible.
I like it.
I want to know their
Kind. Because you said the Mayans, they're Guatemala and a bunch of other people. This is the tribe of Issachar, the so-called Mexicans. I'm gonna show you something according to the
That's
scriptures.
where everything.
I'm gonna
is
show you
wrong.
something that's according to the scriptures. Go ahead, Doc.
This is First Chronicles 12, verse 32. And the children of Issachar,
Children of Issachar.
which were the men that had understanding of the times.
Now, what are the Mayans known for? The Mayan calendar, right?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Astronomy.
Exactly.
Understanding of the
That's
times.
just- exactly.
And when you go into the book of Genesis, the sun and the moon, in the book of Genesis, the scripture says that the sun and the moon were given for a sign of the times and seasons. And it just said, the book of First Chronicles, chapter 32, verse 12, verse 32, said that they had the understanding of the signs and the understanding of the times. Meaning they could look up at the sky, look up at the sun, and see, okay, this is what's happening. Did the Mayans not do that?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And the children of Issachar, which were men that had understanding of the times, to know what Israel ought to do. The heads of them were 200, and all their brethren were at their commandment.
So they had the understanding of the times and seasons because the Lord gave that to them so they can know to tell the children of Israel, okay, this is what's going to happen.
Yep.
That's why they have
Mayan
the
calendar.
Mayan calendar, to let the Israelites know, not to let just the Mayans know, to let the Israelites know that, hey, this is going to be the end time. Now, this calendar that we're going with nowadays is off. Gregorian calendar. It doesn't match up with what's really going on, with what time we're living in, But
It's good.
just
Good
that's
cause, man.
that's
Good
just
cause.
proof to show you who the Mayans were, that they're Israelites. Go ahead.
And I want to say one thing. Even the Lord said in Matthew the 24th chapter, not even him or the angels of heaven know when the Most High is going to come back to the earth. So the Mayan calendar was basically like a guideline of when you're going to start seeing prophecies coming to pass.
That's my whole thing. Like, if we're gonna start preaching and teaching, let's not use colors, man.
Well,
You're gonna
what
try-
color did we use up here?
Well, I saw white mans already. I'm like, oh.
Okay,
I know. But
who's
listen.
white?
I'm brown.
Something that's
Okay.
lighter than that.
You see this, right?
This guy's white.
Okay, really? If I
My
put,
shirt's white.
hold on,
Look at my shirt.
yeah, is he white? Is he really white?
No, he's like a mix of orange.
Okay,
and
so then this next,
white.
the next so-called white person that come up, is he gonna be this color? Right. So who's white? Okay,
I like that.
no one is white. Okay, so that's why we put up there.
Back then, because we did have a lot of ignorance back then.
He's Sherbert.
That's how we were characterized.
But like the brother said, who's the one who deemed white man, black man, brown man? Who did that?
Esau, Edom, the
So
Europeans, man.
okay. One last question.
That's who's on that sign. Go ahead. What's that last question?
So do you think that everything happens because of God or because there's a reason?
Well, both. And they're both intertwined because the Most High said, and because there's a reason why He said that. If what you want? If
The ways of man's not.
yeah, Jeremiah
10 to 23.
Yep.
So is there a purpose?
We're gonna answer your first question, sir. Sorry. We're gonna answer your first question.
I got a lot of pages. All right, Jeremiah 10 and what?
You asked basically everything that happens.
I'm not mocking
Is there?
like how you guys were mocking me when I said orange.
I don't even. I'm sorry. I'm talking to your husband.
Go ahead.
So like you mentioned, sir.
Come on, really?
asked
You
the
gotta
question-
give women some respect.
No, it's no, but I'm trying. I'm
He is
showing her respect speaking to
Yeah, we
you.
got that on tape.
It's out of order for me to speak to your woman without
Why?
speaking to you first, because you're her husband.
you don't know
I'm
the
showing
Bible.
you respect, sir. I'm showing you respect, sir. Okay, I'm sorry.
Didn't the Lord say, go get your husband to the woman at the well?
Yeah, he spoke to the woman at the well.
Right.
Go get your husband.
Escucha esto.
I know. I
Escucha
remember
esto.
that one.
Antes que te vaya, escucha esto. Go ahead.
Jeremiah 10 and 23. O Lord, I know that the way of man is not in himself. It is not in man that walketh to direct his steps.
Alright, so it's not up to you or what your objective is or why you did what you did. At the end of the day, it's the Lord who directed your steps, and that's the purpose. His purpose is His own, man. And like the brother quoted, man, in Matthew 24, not even YAHAWASHI knew, man. So everything that's being done is according to the will of the Lord, man, not anybody else, man. That's why things happen. Because one, the way of man is not of his own, but of the Lord. So the Lord is the one that when you wake up is directing your steps. And the reason why He has you walking the way you're walking is because He wanted you to walk that way. That's the only reason you should know. Whatever other purpose YAHAWASHI has for you walking in the way that you're walking, that's up to Him, man. Don't worry about that. Worry about what you're doing, man. All right? But let's get back to the lesson. Jeremiah 50, a little bit short. Started 22. You read 23, right?
The only thing come out of that is edification. You know, that's it. You know?
Yeah. Anybody listen?
Yeah, anybody listen?
And that's why it's beautiful too, because just it's a snare in the table of offense, to certain things. Without the woman thing, they left, because it goes into the mysteries are given onto the elect. It wasn't given for them to know, so this truth is extremely precious, because something like that, He just gave away His salvation.
But that was the filtering
Yeah,
process.
exactly,
In order
the
to
word.
come into this truth,
You have to go through the gates.
you got to go through the gates, and that filter,
gotta
that
reject it.
filtration, hey, it stopped them right there. His woman showed that her opinion was not. We don't voice your opinion here, so she had to bounce. And then what happened?
He followed after her.
Follow, man. So
Hey,
he
but-
just wasn't
Because
cut.
he's supposed to be the head, but she showed that she's the head. So they go to show you, man, that the Lord, that He's not worthy to get this truth, because He'll put His woman before the Lord. Yeah.
He was like, you gotta respect him.
Respect. I'm saying, I'm respecting you.
That's funny because even you sent the video. I was watching it while you was watching it too. I seen you on the comment board.
Okay.
The brother
Rashai.
Rashai, he did a video, man. Ain't no respect the person with the Most High, man. We don't give a damn whether you here with your woman or not, man. We're gonna tell you how it is, and if your woman don't respect it, then keep it moving, just like he did, man. He had to respect the person because he was like, damn, they disrespecting my woman. So I feel some type of way. He got emotional, man.
Yeah, but we're saying it's like actually we're showing respect to her by talking to you.
Yeah.
All right, because we don't talk to another man's woman. All right, so we're gonna talk to you. We're gonna address you as the scriptures say, and it's simple as that. It's in the Bible.
Hey, one more thing. Like the scripture says, God is not the author of confusions. The woman's supposed to keep her mouth shut in the congregation of men. Ain't no sense of no woman talking amongst men. Especially when men go on to war. Why would a woman be there sitting at the table talking about war with us? What are you doing here?
Strategy.
That's kind of,
swords. And
yeah,
shit
kind
with
of
him.
swords and shit. Honey, maybe you should.
Spiritual war.
That's
What was
spiritual warfare, and she interfered. Same thing with Cam Newton when that one reporter asked him about running routes. He said a woman asked him about running routes, and they wanted him to apologize for that.
Hey, this
There's gladiators out there, man.
Seriously, yeah, this was a battle, between man and man. And then she pretty much like the script says, she went to grab the privy members.
I was just gonna say,
she gotta get her hands cut off, man.
Gotta get her hands cut off.
Stood back and watched.
I meditated on that the other day too.
That's the spirit.
He's gonna get his death, man. Because like we were saying, spiritual war. He got distracted from the battle, and guess what happens when you get distracted in the battle, man? You get your head gets cut off.
It's gonna hurt the man.
Yeah,
That's all. When she intervenes, all it's gonna do is hurt the man. All right, because the reason why that law cutting hands off exists is because if she grabs the man's nuts, then he can't procreate no more. His seed can't live on no more.
And that is spiritual, because when she interfered, that's like her grabbing one of our nuts, because she trying to take our testicular fortitude away so that we can confine to America. They're like, okay, let's let her speak. No, we gonna let you know. You're not gonna grab my nuts.
This edification has to come out. You're not gonna stop it. All right, this edification has to come. This ass whooping's gotta commence.
Right.
And this is all this was the spiritual ass whooping. You can't grab our nuts and stop.
It's not happening.
Go ahead.
So yeah, let's get back into
Yes, get back.
So Jeremiah chapter 50, and going back to verse 22, a sound of battle is in the land.
That's what we hear happening on the news. You turn on CNN right before you click next channel because you're so scared and you don't want to see the news. That's what you hear, man. You hear wars. You hear rumors of wars, man. You hear the sound of the battle getting drawn out, man, or pushed out, man. You hear the sirens going off, getting cranked. You hear, like the brother said, swords getting sharpened.
They tell you that in Ezekiel. Like, roughly prayer, the Lord is going to sharpen that sword. You know? I have to find it.
Hey, spiritual truth is going to get into it. This is Jeremiah chapter 50, and continuing on verse 22, and of great destruction. How is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? How is Babylon become a desolation among the nations?
There you go. How is Babylon become a desolation amongst the nations, man? All these other nations, they're going to be looking at America like, damn, how the hell? I thought this was the cash cow of the world. How the hell did this place come down to naught, man?
One thing, brother, real quick. When it said has Babylon become the hammer over the whole earth, think about when you go to court, a judge has a gavel. That's a wooden mallet. That's another form of a hammer. What America tries to do, they try to judge the whole world, putting sanctions on other nations, telling them who, okay, you know what, since we don't like you today, we're going to tell you that you can't buy oil from Iran and things of that nature. That's basically them being a whole hammer over the whole earth, man. They're trying to judge the whole world. All right?
And like the scripture said, how is the whole hammer of the earth brought down? How is it broken asunder, man? That's what's coming, man. Because the people, like the brothers said, America goes around policing the whole entire world. They say what's international waters. They say what's international airspace. They're the ones that dictate that. When the time comes for America to get brought down, Babylon the Great, these nations are going to be wondering, how the hell did this place get brought down? I thought these were the motherfuckers that set the rules. Now somebody else is setting the rules?
They set the rules in other sovereign countries, i.e. Turkey, India, telling them what they can and can't buy with their money, man. So for you to question who the hammer of the whole earth, or who is the control of the earth, man, you obviously been asleep, man. That's what all these wars about. Oh, we don't want Bashar al-Assad to be reigning over his country. We don't want Nicolas Maduro reigning over his country. But that's another man's house, bro. How you up in another man's house trying to put up wallpaper and carpet in there and shit?
We're all the hammer, okay? Everybody's the hammer. That's what fucking people will say. Everybody runs the earth. No, it's like one specific nation that runs the earth. All right, and it's Babylon the Great, as the brother's going into. That's the hammer. Go ahead.
It's Jeremiah chapter 50, and verse 24. I have laid a snare for thee, and thou art also taken, O Babylon.
Hey, so America's been, the Lord said okie doke for them, and they got took by it, man. They fell into the okie doke, man. You know?
They like that God commercial with the fishing rod.
You gotta do better than that.
Obadiah chapter 1 and 7. All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. And they that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee, and there is no understanding in thee, in him. Hey, so going back to that trap that he laid that snare up under him, hey, it's most like it's shaping up to be his allies. Like we're going into with Turkey and all them. All right, they trying to force them to buy these weapons to stop with the S-400 purchase to get the F-35. But look, it's just like, if you kick us out and stop selling us weapons, we're going to do exactly what you don't want us to do. Buy weapons from Russia.
And that's a spirit. Because you also mentioned that they need America needs the material from certain countries.
China and
Go
Turkey.
ahead, brother.
And Turkey also is joint partners in building them damn planes. They just cutting off your own damn supplier, bro. It's like, that's like Scarface going up to his plug, talking shit to him. Like, bro, you want to go to war with me? I'm the one who put you in business. You can do that if you want to.
You got a pile of snow on your office table.
Yeah.
You talking shit to me.
Right, and look what happened to Scarface at the end. You know what I'm saying? He thought he was feeling himself too much. But then what? The dude told him, like, look, you work for me, bro. And then I can send this. You thought you was the man, but you're really not the man, bro. You're nothing without me.
And speak on something my young said real quick. You know, because the brother stated, he said that, you know, these other nations are gonna be like, dang, how were they able to take America down? Like, you know, we thought these that hammer, you know, the toughest guys on the planet. All right, but just a quick answer is that, hey, the Most High, all right, it's gonna be a divine intervention, man. You know, that's really the answer to the Most High intervening to make known His power. All right, so you know I'm gonna go. It's Romans 9, and I'm gonna get one scripture, verse 22. What if the Most High willing to show His wrath and to make His power known? All right, that's how America's gonna be brought down. For the simple fact, the Most High want to make His power known, man. Because you can clearly see, like, this is that great empire. Like, damn, like, how the hell, you know, like you said, how they brought down? You know what I mean? And you know, when you look at it, it's like, damn, it's impossible for anybody to take them down because how powerful and mighty they are. But it's gonna be the Most High, man.
It was like the Lord showed His power by raising Esau up. He raised Esau up, was the lowest of the lowest of the heathen, and He put him on top. And now he's the strongest nation that ever run this earth, ever in the history of the planet. And the Lord's gonna bring him down.
And that's gonna be made known that the Most High rose him up, like, you know, when He takes him down. Because, like, you know, they always say, only person that can take this out is who created it. Like, when you create, like, let's say a robot go rogue.
Right.
And you know, AI technology type shit.
Only one person, the one that created it, knows
exactly that knows, and how to cut that bitch off. You know what I mean? Only the person that created it. Going back to with spiritual, the sword, Isaac, right? Who He gave that blessing to? And who is Isaac?
YAHAWASHI.
YAHAWASHI. So he's gonna be the only one
Hey, see it?
to get to take him down.
Nah, that's the spirit. All right. Come on.
So,
I got a quick precept.
all right.
So, Sirach chapter 16, it's going to go perfect what you're saying. Sirach chapter 16 and verse 15. The Lord hardened Pharaoh that he should not know Him, that His powerful works might be known to the world. You know, like it says in Daniel, the 4th chapter, you know, the Most High rules in the kingdom of men. You know, He sets everything according to His purpose and His will. Ultimately, you know, this being that second Egypt to show His power again. You know, because it's been a long time since He really showed forth Himself in His last days, which is exactly what He's doing.
And if I may add, that's why the Most High kept hardening Pharaoh's heart, because plague have to come after plague. The first plague came, Moses came back to Pharaoh, said, "Hey, let my people go." Harden his heart again, and so on until they got swooped up under the sea.
You know? I don't think they felt me yet.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna harden them again.
Because that's the thing, man. Pharaoh was like, all right, man, get him out of here. And then he would be like, you know what? Fuck them niggas, man. They ain't going nowhere.
That's the Most High. Like, no, these niggas ain't felt me yet. I'm gonna harden this heart again so I can just keep showing all this shit off. Keep showing. I know I got something. I got something else I want to show. And that's him, you know?
In the ancient Egypt, imagine Jeremiah 16:14 tells you that this Exodus, so to say, is going to be far greater than the last Exodus. So imagine the things that the Lord's going to do this time, man. How much is He going to harden Esau's heart, which is the modern day Pharaoh, the modern day Egyptians? How much is He going to harden them so He can magnify His name, show His works, show His power, man? Through what? Through His men this time, man. All right, and those plagues, of course. But what? This time, there wasn't people outside of Moses and really Aaron, because Aaron was the one doing the miracles. That's why Moses would hand the staff off to Aaron, and Aaron would throw it down, and turn into a snake, or he would Moses would give the staff to Aaron and put it in the water. But what now? It's going to be 144,000 men throughout the four corners of the earth doing miracles, man. Or whether it be on a low level, or whether it be healing people, flying, whatever, man.
Because we're no longer under the order of Aaron. We're under the priesthood of Melchizedek.
Yeah, that's why the Most High did that way, because what the head priest, so to say, was going to come through the house of Aaron, man. Even though Moses was a Levite, but what, you had the Levites in the house of Aaron, you know.
Hey, real quick, speaking on the Most High hardening the Pharaoh's heart. All right, you can read that in the book of 2nd Ezra about how they was afraid and they durst fight. Most High's got to put the spirit on them at the end all be all, man.
Well, hey,
to bring them to the fire.
And that's the last plague, man. The missiles, the plague that goeth around the whole earth, the UFOs. That's the last ultimate, most horrendous plague that this earth has ever seen. It's going to be the nuclear missiles and the chariots of the Lord.
That's the last card.
The last plagues of Egypt, man. Right.
It says, what if the Most High willing to show his wrath? So that's the answer. How America's going to be taken down by the Most High just want to show his power, man. You know, exactly. You know, it's time. Hey, our Lord is in the heavens. He does whatsoever he pleases. That's, David said that in Psalms. Right? It says, and to make his power known, endure with much long suffering, the vessels of wrath fitted to destruction. So I just wanted to bring that up.
Yep, fitted for destruction, man. And you see right now, as we're speaking, man, the Lord is showing his power, man. First and foremost, the Lord has his prophets out here, all right, and the Lord also has all these things happening around the earth, man. The Lord is showing his power out there, man. But what he's hardening the heart of Pharaoh, man. All right, he's hardening the heart of you people out here, man. So you be like, that's just something that's going on, man. I don't care about that. That's not happening over here in my backyard. All right, guess what? It's gonna come real soon to you people, man. Soon the Lord's gonna come and bring that death spirit and take take out those in your household, man. All right, just like he did in Egypt.
They kind of real quick. The Canaanites said the same thing. They heard about the destruction in Mizraim, and then eventually it came to their doorstep, man. Joshua was leading that charge, started butchering all of them. Then they realized that, oh shit, you know what? Maybe the stories were true.
That's that thief in the night, man. Are you not worried about what's going on? It ain't gonna happen to me, ain't gonna happen to me. That's that thief in the night, man.
Yeah. No.
This is Jeremiah chapter 50 and verse 24. I have laid a snare for thee. That's bring that hardening. You know, that's a snare, hardening the Pharaoh. You know, luring them in. You know, like keep on, you know, doing what you're doing. You know, continuing. And thou art also taken, O Babylon, and thou wast not aware. They didn't know.
Yeah, was not aware, man. You see? And look at the state of these people right now, man. They don't look aware of what's going on, man. Hey, a military troop can right now bomb the shit out of this damn military base out here, and none of these people would know nothing, man.
Take their phone out before this.
They wouldn't, kind of like the brother said, man. They just, oh shit, they wouldn't know that they're done. They wouldn't know that the shit has hit the fan, so to say.
Hey, brother, these people are these people are so out of tune. If the missiles was coming, they'll try and go live on Instagram. Oh shit, you see this? Why they're gonna be recording their demise.
They'll get the notification on their phone, missile on its way. They'll exit that bitch out and keep recording.
Hey, remember in Hawaii, the attack or whatever? People are going live. What should I do?
What should I do?
What should you do, man?
Your knees are break.
You should have did something before, you know?
The gap between you,
and they still
throwing kids in the sewer drain and shit.
Jeremiah chapter 50 and verse 24. I have laid a snare for thee, and thou art also taken, O Babylon, and thou wast not aware. Thou art found, and also caught, because thou hast striven against the Lord YAHWAH. Going back. Thou art found and also caught.
Thou art found and also caught, man. And guess what? The Most High found out about your wickedness. Why? Because the sins of America has reached the heavens, man. The Lord has seen the wickedness that's been done in this land, man, to his people, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, the Israelites, man. All right? The Lord has seen it, man, and he's going to bring the judgment, man. All right? Read that again and continue on.
Thou art found and also caught, because thou hast striven against the Lord Yahweh.
How are you striving against the Lord Yahweh, man? How have you striven against the Lord? Well, first and foremost, let's get down to the nitty-gritty. Homosexuality is legal, man. All right? What else?
You destroyed our people, man.
You destroyed our people.
And that's why the scriptures say to the son of perdition be revealed. Because what? You get revealed, you get found, you get caught.
Yeah. The women being set over men, turning of things upside down.
That bitch down there.
Yep. Oh, Cesare Borgia. Crucifying the Lord again over here. This is how you crucified the Lord again over here. Okay? That's just a few, man.
Yeah, set themselves on high and exalted themselves, you know, above the Most High. So he's striving against them.
And that's part of the blasphemy. Part of the blasphemy.
Jeremiah chapter 50 and verse 25. The Lord Yahweh hath opened his armory.
There you go.
That's like a deep room. Hey, to make known his power.
To make known his power.
Yeah.
Let's go. Because we're getting ready to find out what that armory is, man. We're getting ready to find out what it is. Go ahead.
Jeremiah chapter 50 and verse 25.
Hey, Salak, because we just got done reading that you Edomites have been found out. You've been revealed. Now the Lord, okay. Oh, okay.
I'm going to use this in a minute.
Like the brother just said.
Real quick, we saw a beautiful example of that. Because why? Beforehand, nobody want to come up against America, man. All right? But America took their damn spy drone over to Iran. And they had another plane with them. And they was like, look, bro, we know y'all got 35 people on that plane over there. We can shoot that plane down if y'all keep coming closer. America was doing what they was normally doing. Next thing you know, that drone went down. They was like, look, y'all ass ain't but 150 feet away. We can hit y'all ass too, man. Then Trump started woofing all on that on the news. They was like, you know what? It's not worth it, man.
Like he got morals or some shit. We're going to kill 100 people. That's why we stopped.
He said 150 people.
Yeah.
He was like, oh, it's not worth it.
That's just the Lord stopping them because it ain't time.
What's 150 people to a... Hey, they drop bombs every 12 minutes.
People, you kill more than that in Chicago streets every weekend. Shit, what they talking about? And he was on the news talking about, I'm from New York. I have Iranian colleagues, this and that. Man, this nigga don't give a damn about no Iranians.
I got it.
Well, read that part about the armory. Read it again.
All right.
Reiterate the point.
Jeremiah chapter 50 and verse 25. The Lord Yahweh hath opened his armory and hath brought forth the weapons of his indignation.
Indignation is his everlasting anger, man. You had that?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay,
This is, I got to get out of my phone.
Weapons of his armory.
This is Micah chapter 5, verse 15. And I will execute vengeance in anger and fury upon the heathen, such as they have not heard.
Okay. Read it again, Bubba Shari. Now, Shaw, put the camera on the sign, Bubba Shari.
This is Micah 5 and 15. And I will execute vengeance in anger and fury upon the heathen, such as they have not heard.
Such as they have not heard. This is how the Lord's gonna. This is how He's doing that, man. This is His armory. This is what the Lord is getting ready to bring upon you people, because everyone in the history of time has heard of war, going into another country, taking over them and killing their people. Never have you heard of a nation being destroyed utterly by nuclear missiles, man. Completely.
This is the weapons of his indignation. Indignation means righteous anger. The Lord's righteous in his anger, man. Because of all the things, mainly Babylon, which the brother's going into, reading about in that chapter. The reason the Lord has a righteous anger against Babylon the Great or America is because what they did to the apple of his eye, the blaspheming of his name, all right, the Holy Spirit. You know, till today, man, people coming up against us here in America, man. And this is not like it's decades old, this is centuries old, man.
This is Jeremiah chapter 50 and verse 25 again. The Lord Yahweh hath opened his armory and hath brought forth the weapons of his indignation. For this is the work of the Lord Yahweh of hosts.
That's the work of the Lord. Turn that sign around, Bubba Shore. That's going to be the work of the Lord right there, man. That's how the Lord is bringing that judgment. That's the Lord opening up the doors of his armory, man. Them ICBM missiles. Well, you people so believe it's a hoax. Damn idiots. That's the Lord's army, man. That's how the Lord's going to do this thing, man. That's how he's going to bring the judgment on this God-forsaken place right here, man. All right? Babylon the Great, the whore. Like it says in Spanish, man. The ramera, okay? Which I find funny. But that's how this place is going down, man. Via the Lord's armory. These nuclear missiles, man. 1 hour. 1 hour, man. All right? Set for a year, a month, a day, and a time, man. And the hour, man.
Also take you to watch an episode of Game of Thrones.
30 minutes from that place, the halfway point, then the halfway point to this place, an hour, man.
I got a preset arc what's going to happen within the hour.
Okay, go ahead.
This is Zechariah 14 and 12. And this shall be the plague wherewith the Lord will smite all the people.
So like real quick, again, we were talking about the plagues of Egypt. It's going to be the plague, the ultimate plague, man. Right.
Yep, go ahead.
Right.
That's one of the ultimate plagues. There's two.
This is Zechariah 14 and 12. And this shall be the plague wherewith the Lord will smite the people that have fought against Jerusalem.
Fought against Jerusalem. Have not the Edomites fought against Jerusalem since the beginning of time? Since they took the birthright away? Well, he gave away his birthright. Has not Edom fought against Israel?
Well, coming out of Egypt.
Coming out of Egypt, they didn't even want to let them cross their lands. You know? And then you go into then you come into the Greeks. Good Lord. I mean, you can't find you can't make that shit up, man.
That's why they try so hard to omit the Apocrypha, because it goes into the Greeks. Because if you just read the Old Testament as they sell it to you, and then to the New Testament, you skip a whole time period. You go from the Babylonians to the Greeks, or so you go from the Babylonians to the Romans. They just skip the whole time period, hundreds of years. But then the book of Daniel talks about the Greeks, man, and how they would rise after the Medo Persians, man. So that's just Esau trying to cover his own ass like he's doing today, man. Still trying to do it to this day. Like the thing with slavery, you want to make sure you think they were indentured servants, which the apostles just went into that. They volunteered to come over here, all right, as servants to work like 6-7 years so they could become Americans, so to say. They worked for that boat ride over here, man. They didn't get forced. They weren't tossed on ships. There's a big difference, man.
I'm going to finish out on that one. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet, and their eyes shall consume away in their holes.
Real quick, read that again.
All right. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet, and their eyes shall consume away while they're in their holes, and their tongue shall consume away in their mouth.
And another good example is if you've ever seen what's that movie called?
Indiana Jones?
Indiana Jones, the Lost
Ark of the Covenant?
Lost Ark of the Covenant. You watch that movie, near the end of the movie, when the spirits come out the Ark of the Covenant, what happened? Them dudes' eyes start melting.
Yep.
You know, it's that fire, man, and that's what's going to happen to these people, man. That fire's going to come, and just like in that movie, you people are going to be melted away, man.
And I want to say one thing real quick. This is not Christianity. This is actually prophecy. When you read out the Bible, these are visions that was given to the prophets. So when the brother Shaw was reading that scripture and the brother showed you that image, that's exactly what Zechariah saw. Zechariah saw, and he wrote it down. He saw people's flesh just being consumed while they standing on their feet. So we telling you the things to come, man. We're your watchmen. All right. I just want to say that real quick. So hey, don't take that lightly, man. That's what the prophet saw, the vision.
Finishing up, Jeremiah chapter 50 and verse 25. For this is the work of the Lord Yahawah of hosts in the land of the Chaldeans.
That's his word.
That's his word against who?
The Chaldeans.
Chaldeans, man. And you go into the history, all right, America used to be known as the land of the Chaldeans, man. All right, because King Solomon would send them over here, man. Okay?
Wait, you going more in that?
No, I think that was it on that. You had something?
Yeah, I gotta put the same thing. This is Jeremiah chapter 51 and 11. It says, make bright the arrows, gather the shields. Again, hey, making bright them arrows. They advancing them nuclear missiles, man. The Satan 1 and Satan 2. The nuclear powered cruise missiles, the hypersonic missiles. It says, make bright the arrows and the shields. Yahawah have raised up the spirit of the king of the Medes.
And what's those bright arrows? The scripture said, make bright the arrows, man. It's talking about the missiles. And he said, what else is saying right after?
It says, make bright the arrows and gather the shields.
Gather the shields, man. All right, these
S400,
S400,
S500. That's what they specialize in. It says, Yahawah has raised up the spirit of the king of the Medes. For his device is against Babylon, to destroy it, because it is the vengeance of Yahawah, the vengeance of his temple. Right?
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, man, that was speaking on this is the Lord's vengeance, all right, and against the people of his curse, man. It's all throughout the scriptures, man. These people don't believe it, but look, just turn the news on, man. All you have to do is watch the news. You see all the same stuff being played out on the news. This is just giving you an understanding of why these things are coming to pass, man.
This is Jeremiah chapter 50 verse 9. I'm gonna start verse 8.
We ready. Go ahead.
Jeremiah chapter 50 verse 9. For lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country.
The north country. Because what? Again, all these nations are being gathered onto Russia, Iran, Syria, China, Turkey, India, North Korea, Venezuela. You want me to keep naming? All these nations are getting gathered onto the north country, which is Russia, man. Go ahead.
And it says, and they shall set themselves in array against her.
And they shall set themselves array against her, man. Right? They're going to be against America. All the things that they're doing is contrary to America. Hence why all those countries are getting sanctions put on them, man. And even America's allies, which is somewhat off topic, even America's allies are getting sanctions put on them. But that goes into Revelation 17, but that's a different story.
Continuing on, it says, from thence shall she be taken. Their arrows shall be as a mighty expert man. None shall return in vain.
Hey, a mighty expert man don't miss his mark, does he? No, he don't. And neither will these nuclear missiles. Hey, like the scriptures say, they shall not miss their mark, man. They shall not break their ranks. They shall not break their ranks.
Because I was thinking, because it's modern day warfare. Back in the day they had swords, they had little shields, but now shields is talking about the S400s and the arrows is talking about the missiles. Because it says that in Isaiah the 9 and 5th chapter. I mean 5th verse, 9 and 5.
Second Ezra, for strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow. The scriptures all throughout the arrows and the bows, the nuclear missiles, is all throughout the Old Testament and New Testament and Apocrypha. Verse 10, and Chaldee shall be a spoil, all that spoil her shall be satisfied, saith YAHAWASHI.
What you got, Something following that. Read that real quick.
This is Revelation 11, verse 11. And after 3 days and a half, the Spirit of life from the Most High entered into them. And they stood upon their feet, and great fear fell upon them which saw them. And they heard a great voice from heaven saying unto them, come up hither. And they ascended up to the heaven in a cloud, and their enemies beheld them.
And that's what's going to happen in these last days, man. All right, before these missiles drop, man. The enemies are going to behold us. We're going to be taken into a cloud, man, pursuant to Revelation chapter 5. The strangeness of their salvation.
I just want to get that. I got it right here, brother.
Get there real quick.
Chapter 5, verse 1. Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him, and made no account of his labors. When they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear, and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation.
They shall be amazed at the strangeness of their salvation. And this is going to be the strangeness of the men of the Lord's salvation right here, man. What you call UFOs, man. What we've been seeing on a damn near daily basis, man.
And the Navy tripping out about it right now, too, man.
Yeah.
They don't know what the hell to do.
You got your military bugging out, man.
They forced to deal with it now. They can't just cover it up no more.
Yep. Aliens! It's being brought up to Donald Trump's attention, you know, but he's dismissing it. Supposedly.
They're trying their hardest not to talk about that shit.
And they had one of the presidents, I think it was JFK, who said that one of them was like, yo, if I get in the office, we gonna bring this all out in the public and in the open. The motherfucker found out about this shit, like, we ain't talking about this shit. You know what I'm saying? No, they didn't kill him over that. We found out about what he had to find out about, and he was like, we ain't talking about this, because if you one of them in their position, you find out what that stuff really is, and they know what it is. They're like, we can't even talk about this shit.
Kind of back him up. They pulled him to the side and they said, look, this is something type of information you can't. It's above his pay grade. He can't speak on that. The president can't speak on his pay grade. Yep. They couldn't speak above their CIA.
Man makes $400,000 a year. He can't speak on those matters. Well, was that it on that?
Read that again.
Which verse?
The 11th, I think.
11?
Yeah, 11th verse again.
Revelation 11 and 11. And after 3 days and a half, the spirit of life from the Most High entered into them.
And that's talking about pretty much roughly 350 years, from 1619 to 1969. Right, that's when the Spirit really entered into the prophets, or to the men of the Lord, to start preaching this and standing on their feet. That's why the brother just read. Go ahead and read that.
Which myself in 5 and 1. Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him.
Then the righteous man shall stand in great boldness. Like the brother just read, it said, entered into them, and they stood upon their feet, and great fear fell upon them which saw. And because what? These people, it's mainly the elites of Edom, they're in great fear seeing us, because they see that life has been given back unto us. All right, we've been quickened. Our spirit has been quickened. We've been given life, so they're standing in fear. That's why in Wisdom of Solomon said that they shall stand in great boldness. Like the brother just read in Revelation 11, man, that after 350, or what is it, 3.5 years, 3.5 days, which is roughly 350 years between pretty much 1619 to 1969. That's when the AHBAD came on the scene. King Mashar, High Priest Ariyah, right? All our elders was on the scene, and that's when the word really started going. You know, because before then, all the way back to 1920s, there was Jake that knew they were Israelites. They were called the commandment keepers. They were Old Testament Israelites, so to say.
Yeah, they was pretty much following like Jewish.
Yeah, they were the black. They were calling themselves. I forgot what exactly. I know the original name was commandment keepers, but they were calling themselves the black Jewish or some shit like that, you know. But nonetheless, the real spirit entering into those men came around 1969, man. And AHBAD and the elders came on the scene and really started pushing, man. Right?
Pure doctrine.
That's when they got the breakdown of the 12 charts, the 12 tribes. What was it? High Priest Ariyah. And you know, that was around that time, man. 70s, late 60s.
Hey, if I could bring out a precept just to go right onto that great boldness, and why they us standing up in great boldness, and then the fear fell upon them. All right, now just getting to the point. When you read in the book of Ezekiel 37, all right, it's talking about the valley of the dry bones. All right, so just getting to the point. Ezekiel 37 and 10. But let me go to verse 9. Then said he unto me, prophesy unto the wind, prophesy, son of man, say to the wind, thus saith Yahweh power. Come from the four winds, O breath, and breathe upon these slain, that they may live. basically what we out here doing right now, trying to wake up our people, all right? So the prophecies, like the brother was saying, when these things started, the minute the Lord started going on the highways and the byways for the first time, all right, in this time frame, this is when they started waking up, all right? And this was the result. Verse 10, so I prophesied as he commanded me, and breath came into them, and they lived, and stood up upon their feet, an exceedingly great army. And the trickle-down effect, you see that right now. That's why you have all these camps growing up right now. This is why they're shutting down the YouTube and things like that, because great fear is falling upon them. All right? Going to Obadiah 1 and 6, how is Esau, the things Esau searched out and his hidden things sought up, man? All right? The Lord is going to reveal the wicked by the spirit of his mouth, man. All right? The Lord is not going to do nothing unless he reveals his secrets to his servants, the prophets. So this is what's making them afraid, man. The Lord is supping with us, giving us the spirit to break down these prophecies, also expose who he is, which is also putting in that motion the downfall of his kingdom, man. Prophesying an exceedingly great army is being risen up right here in the belly of the beast, man. Right. So he already seated the opponents that's coming to take his kingdom down. Esau's the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that follow it. The reason he's getting upset and he's all scared is because he's seeing life coming back into us. We was already destroyed, all right? But now he's seeing us coming back to life. Now he's like, oh shit, they got their power back. Now I need to fear, man. All right?
And that's why the heathens, you know, according to Psalms 83, they became confederate together to take us down. And what did they do? Every time the nations would take us down, whether it was Esau or any other nation, what would they do? They would destroy the temple. Why would they destroy the temple? Because for us to go to the Lord, we would have to go to the temple. We would have to, if you sinned, you had to go sacrifice. So their ideology was, hey, let's destroy the temple. We destroy the connection between them and the Most High.
That's so spiritual. That's why YAHAWASHI had to come. That's why YAHAWASHI had to come, because they defiled the sanctuary. They defiled the altar. All right, there's a Zabak, so to say, the place where you own Zabak at. So we needed YAHAWASHI to come back, because we basically became defiled after that. Because prior to the Greeks and the Greco-Roman Empire, we knew who we were. No matter who ruled over us, whether it was the Egyptians, the Babylonians, the Medes, or the Persians. But when Esau, the Greco-Roman Empire, came around, they made us forsake all of that. So then we became polluted. So we couldn't really give the Most High an actual sacrifice. You're right, huh?
And what did they do? They went to sacrifice swine on the altar. They completely defiled the altar. They took out the menorahs, all the golden chalices, and they destroyed the altar because they knew. They spiritually, it's not going to say it in the scriptures, this is why they destroyed the temple. But if you spiritually extrapolate, you understand why they destroyed the temple, because they understood, because everybody, like the brother just named, those empires, they knew what we were about and who we worship. So what they do, they would sack the temple, man. That's the first thing they would want to do. Sack the temple, take all the goods out of it, and just defile it, man, because they know that was our way of getting to the Lord, man. And that, like the brother said, that's why YAHAWASHI had to do away with all that, man. There was no more sacrifice. Now we have YAHAWASHI's blood, man.
And if I may add on to what the brother's saying, add on to what the brother was saying, what it said in Jeremiah 17 and what, 5 or 17 or 4. The Lord said, you shall discontinue from your heritage. And it started right then and there. You know?
Because even though that wasn't the actual temple, and during the time of the Romans, Herod, he had a temple, man. Which was, they tried to name it Solomon's temple, but that wasn't the third temple, man.
Yeah, you're right.
It's
the scripture. It's about Solomon's porch. Yep, you're right. Yep, you're right.
But that was an Edomite, man. He was the one that sanctioned all that, man. That wasn't, because the second temple that was built was during the time of Ezra. All right.
Yep.
That was thousands of years before that, man. Or not thousands, but hundreds.
That was first Ezra, right? Yeah. If I'm not mistaken, bro. You're right.
But these heathens, they know. But now they can't do that because what? We are the temple now. We're the tabernacle. The Lord dwelleth within us. And through YAHAWASHI, He's the mediator, man. So we don't need a temple to go sacrifice a dove or a lamb, you know.
Yeah, we the sacrifice.
Exactly. We are the living sacrifice. Yeah.
So it's Romans chapter 12:1.
And to back you up about knowing the Lord, they know about how to separate us, man. Psalms 83. All right, let's just take the name of Israel from being in remembrance. This is Isaiah 59, 1 and 2. Behold, the Lord's hand is not shortened that He cannot save, neither is His ear heavy that He cannot hear. But your iniquities have separated between you and your power, and your sins have hid His face from you, that He will not hear you. All right, so going into that, they understand that if we know we can get these motherfuckers to keep going off, they God ain't gonna hear them, man. If we put pork into all their food, man, and make them believe that, He's not gonna hear them, man. All right?
That's why the scriptures say the accuser of thy brethren, man. Because they make us go off, but then they want to use that as an excuse for their wickedness, you know?
All these rap songs talking about sleeping with other men's women and stuff like that, and this is what Jake going out and doing. It's not that like, yo, man, you further separating yourself from your own power, man. And they understand this, man.
But that's the main reason one of the main reasons America's gonna be destroyed, man.
Revelation 11:11. And after 3 days and a half, the Spirit of life from the Most High entered into them, and they stood upon their feet, and great fear fell upon them which saw them. And they heard a great voice from heaven saying unto them, Come up hither. And they ascended up into heaven in a cloud, and their enemies beheld them.
All right, so going back to what that brother was reading in Wisdom of Solomon chapter 5, man, we're going to be delivered out of here in them chariots, man, right before the missiles hit, man. All right? That's going to be that strangeness of the salvation.
Verse 13.
Real quick, I got a precept real quick to go through that last verse. This is Revelation 18:4. This is that voice they heard. This is Revelation 18:4. Well, actually, read it again. About the voice, and then I'll read it.
Revelation 11, verse 12. And they heard a great voice from the heavens saying unto them, Come up hither. And they ascended up into heaven in a cloud, and their enemies beheld them.
Yeah, this is that voice they heard that say, Come up hither. This is Revelation 18:4. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues.
And one of those plagues is the nuclear missiles, man. That's one of the plagues, and that's the plague that we've been talking about, man. These nuclear missiles coming, man. All right. So if you want to be delivered from this, man, you got to escape this damn polluted ass world. And I ain't talking about getting a passport and a plane ticket over to some other country, man. I'm talking about spiritually. All right. That's what that scripture that the brother was talking about in Revelation 18. It says it's talking about spiritually coming up out of there, man. Spiritually coming out of the ways of this place before they get bombed, man. Before this place gets completely and utterly destroyed, man, via the nuclear missiles. Okay?
Because you're spiritually joined unto it.
Yep.
So you have to spiritually detach yourself, man. You know?
And when you hear that come out of her, my people, that's also going to be a physical thing in the last days. Because you're actually going to hear that voice.
Yeah. And it's twofold. It's spiritual right now, but then it's going to be physical. You got something, brother?
Yeah, I got something.
Now you go ahead. I'll break it out to you.
This is to go with that and what I just read. This is Isaiah 26, verse 20. Come, my people, enter thou into thy chambers, and shut thy doors about thee. This is talking about the chariots, how they're going to leave. My people, their people are going to leave her. It says, hide thyself as it were for a little moment until the indignation be overpassed. And the brother read about the weapons of his indignation. Verse 21, for behold, Yahawah cometh out of his place to punish the inhabitants of the earth for their iniquity. The earth also shall disclose her blood and shall no more cover her slain.
And that goes right back to the brother brought in Revelation, the 18th chapter, where it says to come out of her, my people, so that we be not a partaker of her sins. And YAHAWASHI praying for us to be kept from those evils to come. And I'm going to just bring it out real quick and give it back to the brother. St. John chapter 17, verse 14. I have given them thy word. This is why we out here, brothers. And the world hath hated them, because we preach in the name of YAHAWASHI. YAHAWASHI. Because they are not of the world, even as I am not of the world. I pray not that thou shouldest take them out of the world, but that thou shouldest keep them from the evil. Okay? So in other words, we just pray the Most High keep us from the plagues to come. So come out of this world is not to be, how should I put it? It's to not remain a heathen, but come back to your heritage and claim your Israelites.
Hey, what precept that was again?
Plagues, going back to the plagues that we're speaking on, destruction and the missiles, that's the seventh plague. Meaning complete. Yeah, the last trumpet, meaning complete number of plagues. That's the last one, you know? So verse 13, Revelation 11 and 13. In the same hour was there a great earthquake.
St. John's chapter 17, verse.
And the 10th part of the city fell.
10th part of the city fell. And then when you look into these FEMA districts, all right, how FEMA has things sectored out and regions, it's 10 regions, man. You can't get around it, man. That's why Esau's trying to delay this thing, man. Because he's like, shit, you know, these prophets, these so-called prophets have been coming out with this bullshit that we've been plotting on for years. And they're coming out with it within months and years. Like, yo, we got to come up with something else. But they ain't going to be able to come up with nothing else. They're just going to have to go with it, man.
Because ultimately, the apostles, elder apostles, man, they've been saying it before these Edomites even knew what was going on, man.
Yep.
So now they're super fucked out.
It says, in the same hour was there a great earthquake, and the 10th part of the city fell, and in the earthquake were slain of men 7,000.
So a complete number of people, man, out of those earthquakes from the nuclear missiles, man. All right?
Yep.
A lot of people going to die, man.
And the scripture tell you about how the earth shall reel to and fro. That's that great earthquake.
Man, and it's all coming via those missiles, man. All coming via those missiles. All right?
A little bit more on that.
Just
finish the verse. And it says, and were slain of men 7,000, and the remnant were affrighted.
God, they were affrighted, man. Meaning they were scared. So even when we get the men of the Lord get beamed up into the chariots, it ain't gonna be everybody giving each other high fives and playing dominoes and all types of things, man. We're gonna be up there looking down, scared, man.
Crying, bro.
Crying, man. We're gonna be seeing some destruction that we scarcely got saved from, man. Scarcely got delivered from.
They're gonna be laughing and joking when we're watching the whole thing just blow up like that.
It's gonna be silent. We're just gonna watch.
Because in that day, we're going to be like pilgrims. We're going to be running for our lives in that day.
And the crazy thing about it is that our body's already gonna be changed then, because we're gonna be on the ship.
Yeah, when we get in.
We have a new mindset.
Yeah, so, and our mind's gonna be, we still gonna be scared. Yeah. And that's all crazy.
And matter of fact, let me read that again, that Isaiah 26. That's talking about that.
Damn, we're going to really see his glory, what he can do. We're going to really be able to witness it and feel it. Oh, you think they angels took their crowns and tossed it at the throne? Man, we ain't even worried.
Right, this is back in Isaiah 26 and 20. Come, my people, enter down to thy chambers. That's the chariots, man. The chambers of the Lord. The chambers in the scriptures talking about the chariots, man. It says, enter into thy chambers and shut thy doors about thee, just like the doors were sealed in the time of Noah, but they're going to be sealed again, all right? It says, and shut thy doors about thee, hide thyself as it were for a little moment. That little moment's talking about when them nukes is destroying this place, all right? That's what that little moment's talking about, man. Because after that, we can't really tell you exactly how it's going to go down, but the Lord's going to crown his elect, and they're going to come down to rule this earth, man. Set the earth in subjection.
Yep. So, you finished that?
That was it.
Go ahead and finish that real quick.
Con, it says, and the remnant were affrighted. And let's show you that old English. It sounds affrighted.
Right, yeah. Sounds off, but
yeah. It sounds off, but it's correct. Affrighted, and gave glory to the God of heaven.
And gave glory unto the God of heaven. So we're going to be seeing that, call halal, man. Like, shit. Man, why do YAHAWASHI outside? We got delivered from that, man. Because we're going to hear the cries. We're going to see the smoke. We're going to see the fire. The men of the Lord are. I say that humbly. The men of the Lord are going to see all those things, man. You don't think, and like we said earlier, like the scriptures say, they shall scarcely be saved, man. You're going to be looking like, damn, man, I seen that missile 10 feet away from my head, man. Shit. Fuck. Yeah, felt the pressure. Heard the people screaming. I heard all that. And I got saved. You're going to be giving all praise to the Most High and scared for your ass. Still scared for your ass even after you got saved, man. That's how terrifying you're going to be, man. You know? Finish that off.
Verse 14. The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly.
And those woes are talking about destruction. The second woe was World War II. The third woe cometh quickly, man. And that's the time that we're getting into, man. That's the time that the Lord is getting prepared, man. That's why we see all these things happening. That's why we see the rumors of wars happening, man. That's why we see the pestilences increasing. That's why we see the people bugging out more and more, because we're approaching that time of the third woe. Okay? Go ahead.
So, Joel chapter 3, and start at verse 1. For behold, in those days And in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem.
We're in it right now. Still serving to this day, man. You know, and then we're in those times. What times? The times that YAHAWASHI was speaking of in Matthew 24 that we brought out earlier. Those are the times we living in, man.
And going into how we're going to take that captivity away from us. But like the scripture say, we are in this day in the hands of our captivity and our paraphrase.
Continuing, Joel chapter 3, verse 2, I will also gather all nations and bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat.
And the Lord is gathering all nations, man. And that valley of Jehoshaphat, when you break that down in the Hebrew, is YAHAWAH. Yahweh is the name of the Lord. Shaphat is judgment. So it's the Lord's judgment. And when you go into the maps, if a brother wants to get the map sign, Bubba Kishore.
I think we're going to back it to Sarah Jacobs, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Sarah Connor. Come on.
Sarah Connor? Yeah.
Yes. Map, brother. Map. Alright. This got a valley of Jehoshaphat right around here. All this area right here, Iran, Saudi Arabia, Iraq, Israel. Alright, all this is that valley of Jehoshaphat. And the Lord said that he's gathering all nations onto this area, man. And we see that happen in the news. You have the Strait of Hormuz where, what is it? What's the percentage of oil that goes?
I think like 40%.
40% of the oil that's produced that goes to the rest of the world comes through this little strait right here, man. The Strait of Hormuz, man. That's
why America wants to come over there.
Which is why America's over there. Why all this shit is being caused, man. It's this area. That's what that valley of Jehoshaphat is talking about in Joel chapter 3. The water, brother. Water. All right? That's what that's war.
Joel chapter 3 and verse 2. I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat.
The valley of Jehoshaphat, YAHAWASHI. Go ahead.
And will plead with them there.
Plead. Go ahead, finish it.
And will plead with them there for my people.
And when you go into that word plead, it means is shapat once again, so it means judge. The Lord is not finna come down from his temple to come and plead with you people, like you people actually think he's gonna do. Oh, please, look, I got these bargaining chips. Y'all relinquish my people and let them be. I'll give you this and that.
Brother, the Lord said we're going to take the kingdom anyway.
Exactly.
So it can't be talking about actually, okay, let's sit down at the G20 summit table. Let's make a deal.
Yep. No, there ain't going to be no deal. That word plead is shapat, judge. Okay? Go ahead and get that piece up.
It's Isaiah 66.
And this is how the Lord's going to judge you people.
Isaiah 66 and verse 16. For by fire and by his sword will the Lord Yahweh plead with all flesh.
Plead with all flesh. By his sword and his what? By fire and his sword. Salakia. And that's going to come via the chariots and the missiles, man. Because the chariot's going to be burning you niggas alive too. Look at World of Wars, man. Yo, you got a bunch of people being evaporated to dust because of that fire, man. Okay, go ahead.
And the slain of the Lord Yahweh shall be many.
And the slain of the Lord shall be many, man. Meaning what? Let this brother get in there. You got it. The slain of the Lord is going to be many, man. Because of the Lord came to plead with you people. You see? The Lord ain't going to come to ask you for this or that. For this. The Lord ain't coming to make trades, man. The Lord is coming for blood. And if you ain't about it, guess what? You're going to be taken too.
I got. Well, this is to go with that.
Yeah.
Okay. This is Jeremiah 25 verse 31. A noise shall come even to the ends of the earth, for Yahweh hath a controversy with the nations. He will plead with all flesh. He will give them that are wicked to the sword, saith Yahweh. So it's Jeremiah 25 and 31.
And that's judgment again. That's not asking you or begging you. That's judgment.
Yeah, like you go to court, you get a plea bargain, right. Or you try to get your sentence reduced. Ain't none of that happening, man. But the scriptures say the Lord will not acquit the wicked, you know.
And even when you go to court to get a plea bargain, it ain't no damn plea, man. Yeah. You ain't up there getting trying to go tit for tat to figure out what you're gonna get, man. The judge, you got a plea bargain means you go to court and you're at the behest of the court. Oh, lucky, brother. You're at the behest of the court. So whatever the judge decides, you can either agree with it or go to trial.
So the plea bargain in this case is still just death.
Yeah, so it's the worst case scenario.
Hey, but ultimately the Lord said, hey, look, he's going to have to turn Esau because he's going to be afraid, but Dirt's going to fight. So, hey, you one way or the other, the Lord's going to make you fight it out with him, man. And you're going to lose. Nothing you can do about it, man.
Yep. Hey, because when you, like I was saying, when you go to court and try to get a reduced sentence, they already got you in the trick bag. It's like selling a car, man. You price that bitch at $5,000, you only want $3,500. So they told you you're going to get 15 years. So you can come back if you want to come back and get a reduced sentence. But there was already in the books that he's going to get you 15 anyway.
This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 6, verse 17. All right, in the Apocrypha. 2nd Ezra, chapter 6, verse 17. And it happened that when I heard it, I stood upon my feet and hearkened, and behold, there was a voice that spake, and the sound of it was like the sound of many waters.
The sound of many waters, man. When you hear many waters, you think about rapids, man. You think about rapids and water crashing, going crazy. Go ahead.
Verse 18. And it said, behold, the days come that I will begin to draw nigh, and to visit them that dwell upon the earth, and will begin to make inquisition of them what they have had hurt unjustly.
Real quick, can the brother Baba Kashar get inquisition in the etymology? Baba Kashar? Inquisition, etymology? Of that, yeah. Inquisition.
2nd Ezra 6 and 19. It says, and will begin to make inquisition of them what they be that have hurt unjustly with their unrighteousness. And when the affliction of Zion shall be fulfilled.
It's not going to be in the blue letter. I got it, brother. I got it. All right. Inquisition, judicial investigation, act or process of inquiring. Okay, so read that again. Select it real quick. A searching into, a seeking, legal examination, a seeking of grounds for accusation. Go ahead.
Hey, Salai, that's why they call it the Spanish Inquisition, because they were coming to seek what they could, you know.
And that's what the Lord's coming to do.
Yeah, exactly.
So it goes into the word inquire. 2nd Ezra, chapter 6, verse 19. It says, and will begin to make inquisition of them what they be that have hurt unjustly.
Who have hurt unjustly. Go ahead.
With their unrighteousness.
With their unrighteousness. So the Lord's coming to search out, to inquire of those that have hurt with their unrighteousness, man. Go ahead.
And when the affliction of Zion shall be fulfilled.
When you go to read Lamentations chapter 4, verse 22, it's done. The shit that Israel had to go to, for lack of a better term, is done and over. The punishment of Israel is done and away with, man. They drunk of the cup already. So now the Lord's getting ready to come back, acquire of you motherfuckers that hurt with your unrighteousness, mainly you Edomites, because you Edomites done the wickedness, and he's going to judge you for it, man, via the nuclear missiles.
Yeah, because our punishment being finished in the end of this kingdom is pretty much synonymous, you know. When this kingdom falls, that's pretty much the end of our punishment. That's when we're taken out of captivity.
Hey, but also, that coincides with what? Us being raised back up. Ezekiel 37, man. The valley of the dry bones. Which scripture also say Esau is the end of the world, Jacob's the beginning of it that follows. So if we being raised back up, the breath coming back into our life, man, we getting to know who we are. Why do we need to know who we are unless we go into the kingdom of heaven or we transition out of our prison, man? Right? Just comparing that up to, show what time we in.
Real quick, brother got a quick reset here.
All right, this is 2nd Ezra. This is 2nd Ezra, chapter 6. It's going up a little bit. Verse 8. It says, and he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau, for Esau is the end of the world.
And that was a prophetic symbolism. Esau coming out, Jacob holding on to his heel, meaning he was going to bring him down. So then,
and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth.
So Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. Like the brother was just saying, man. There's going to be a big turnaround coming, man.
Oh, we in it. We in it.
Yeah, we in the turnaround, man.
The Lord's exposed, exposed of being a damn devil. The Israelites being exposed of being the Israelites, coming back to the law, statutes, and commandments. We in that transition period right now, man.
It's like the reverse. You remember the Kurt Angle, the angle hold, got him by the ankle. But that's what's taking place, man. He just reversed the move, got you by the ankle. Now it's over, man.
Yeah, spiritually said ankle.
Tap out. You saw it.
You said ankle. It's that heel. This is Lamentations chapter 4, verse 21. I was going to start at 22, but since you brought out Edom, it's Lamentations 4 and 21. Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom.
And that's what they're supposed to do, man. You Edomites are supposed to be rejoicing, man. You're supposed to come up here, laugh, mock. You're supposed to do all those things. We ain't gonna get mad at you. We have in the past, but we grow from that. But that you're fulfilling your life to the best of your ability. You know,
We'll
you live in your.
encourage you now.
Yeah, we'll encourage you. Exactly. We Trump voters too, if you want to know.
Kill another nigga, man. Kill another nigga, man.
You know, hey, live your best life, man. Go ahead.
Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, that dwelleth in the land of Uz. The cup also shall pass through unto thee.
We're going to find out what that cup is. Go ahead.
All right. Thou shalt be drunken and shalt make thyself naked. Verse 22.
Like Esau already does. Esau gets drunk, and the first thing he do is want to take his goddamn clothes off, man.
White boy drunk.
Yeah, exactly. Like they call it. That's exactly what they call it. White boy drunk.
Hey, I heard white people don't get drunk. They become they self, man. They really just become they self, and they come out and like, woo. That's going back to their base ass state, man. Get all naked and shit, do all kind of crazy shit, man.
Edomite women, they coming on Jake.
Yeah, that's their natural state, man. When they let down their guard, they have like trying to watch themselves, man.
Or if they come across this while they're drunk and they come across this,
nigger.
Yeah, all that comes out. Verse 22, this is the point. The punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion.
The punishment of thine iniquity. What was the iniquity? We turned away from the Most High.
Yes.
That was the Israelites' iniquity, man. But the scriptures just said that the punishment of thy iniquity is accomplished, man. Meaning it's finished. What did YAHAWASHI say at the end before he went? It is finished. That means bamboozled. You Edomites are now finished after this, man. All right, go ahead.
Right. The punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. He will no more carry thee away into captivity. He will visit thine iniquity, O daughter of Edom.
So for those people that like to say, oh, well, you guys are hypocrites. You're going to put us in slavery. Doesn't that mean you're going into slavery afterwards? No, it don't mean that. We ain't going to go into captivity no more, like the scriptures just said. All right?
It's going to be all righteous laws programmed in us. There ain't going to be no judgment for going off.
We got a different kind of thing in this thing. We are the children of the Most High. We the sons of the Most High. So, you're not. Okay? So that's the difference. You're mad, aren't you? It says, he will no more carry thee away into captivity. He will visit thine iniquity, O daughter of Edom. He will discover thy sins.
And we living in those times of the Esau, Edom being exposed. And the Lord is going to get, he's already visiting the world. It's clear and obvious that there's angels being seen throughout the four corners of the earth. But it's going to come a time that the Lord is going to judge you, Edomites, for the wickedness, man. Via what? The missiles, man. World War III. That's what's coming. And like a comment I stated earlier, the Lord is killing two birds with one stone. He's going to judge these nations by gathering them all up, and he's going to take you Edomites out with it, man, with that same judgment.
And if I can say real quick, talking about Edom and his judgment, man. All right, earlier throughout the week, I put out a video about Esau putting judgment on Jake. It was it was a deep video, but nevertheless, Esau got mad about it on YouTube and blocked the shit, right? So another video was going up the same thing about the death and the despair, man. They killed themselves off by crazy numbers again, man. This shit is back in the news again, man. All right, they talking about this depression and things like that, man. The EMS people, the people that have to pick up the damn Edomites off the side of the street, they getting bugged out. There's a company out here in Tampa or St. Pete where you got the people that watch Facebook, all right? It's like, I think 800 employees working in one bathroom building, and they got to look at all this foul shit on the internet, man, and they bugging out, man. All right? Hey, man, these Edomites are done, man. You got a whole group of these people out here committing suicide and taking drugs and opiates right now, man. The Lord is casting out judgment on these Edomites, man. It's going to only turn up, man.
To the ultimate judgment.
This is Joel chapter 3, and going back to verse 2. I will also gather all nations, and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land.
That's why the Lord, again, going into that word, it means judge. And exactly what the brother just read there at the end of that verse is why the Lord is going to judge them. Because of his people Israel, because they have spread them across the four corners of the earth through slavery. Okay? That's why the Lord's going to judge his people. Okay?
And they have cast lots for my people, and have given a boy for an harlot, and sold a girl for wine.
And they did that through slavery, man. They sold a boy for a harlot, meaning they would get our slavery children, our boys, enslave them, and sell them off to some pedophile ass Edomite, and the Edomite would be popping the boys, man. All right, and then instead of and they traded a wine for a girl. You go back to when the Hamites, the so-called Africans, all right, when they sold our people into slavery, what did they do? What did they trade with the Grecians? They traded wine. They traded guns, rum.
And you got to remember, the slave trade began before they put them on ships.
Yeah.
They were selling them because where the first slaves came from was from Europe, Spain. Exactly. So they've been trading Negroes out there before they started putting them on the ships.
And they say we Spaniards, like actually we was the Spaniards first. Hey, but speaking of the wine, they still selling our children for wine nowadays. It's called trying to get into the hip hop community or the rap stuff, man.
Right,
they got to take an oath, man. What do you think they're doing to get into all of that stuff,
The
man?
endorsements, you're right.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, they got to bend over backwards, get popped to get inside all that stuff, man. That's the same thing they doing, man. All right, selling them into a whole new type of slavery, man. Same thing going on for the same people, man. That's why they had a Me Too movement. Oh, I had to sleep with the producers to get into the such and such, the men and the women, man. Same thing going on, man.
It's called getting initiated.
Initiated for Jake. They don't do that for Esau like that, man.
And have given a boy for an harlot, and sold a girl for wine, that they may drink. Yeah, and what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon, and all the coasts of Palestine? Will ye render me a recompense?
Will you render the Lord a recompense? You gonna pay the Lord back for what you did? Oh shit, I sold you people into slavery, Lord, but I got these 50 shekels of silver to recompense what I did, my reparations, right? Because now you got Esau talking about reparations. Shit, we know the end is about near, so let's try to come up with some way we can pay these niggas back before we actually get judged. You ain't gonna be able to prepay the Lord, man. You ain't gonna do it. Stop faking the funk, Esau, because you just hyping people up for no reason, man. You ain't gonna do it, man. You ain't got the capability to do it. You ain't got the money to do it, man. All right.
And if ye recompense me swiftly and speedily, will I return your recompense upon your own head.
So the Lord, hey, guess what? He's getting ready to bring that recompense on your own head real quick, man. You people because really your reign was only for a short time, man. The reign of you people, the reign that you had over the Israelites is only for a short time, man. Because we about to have an everlasting rule compared to what you had, man. That's minuscule compared to what we're going to have, man. You know? And the Lord is going to recompense what you did upon your own head, and it's going to come speedily, man. Like the brother quoted earlier, within an hour.
I got a quick precept that's going with what you just said. It's only been a little time. There's Revelation 20:3, and cast him into the bottomless pit and shut him up and set a seal upon him that he should deceive the nations no more till 1,000 years should be fulfilled. Talking about the dark ages. And Esau, Edom was in captivity. Here's the point though, and after that he must be loosed a little season.
Yes, Renaissance, man. That little season, man.
Well,
that's when it started. Yeah. The Renaissance period was when the so-called white man Esau, Edom came back into power. Well, since then they've been in power, and that's that little season that the scripture's talking about, man. It didn't say a long season. It's only been a little bit of time since the so-called white man came into power, man. What did it say about the seventh head? It said that it will rule for a short space, man. Starting with the British Empire, they only ruled for a little bit, man, before America came out of that. All right. So the so-called white man, after they got born back and they came back on the earth to deceive the world, they only deceived the world for a little bit of time before their judgment was to come, man. All right. Go back to that.
Real quick, could you say a little season?
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, Job 20 and 3. It says, I have heard the check for my reproach and the spirit. Oh, am I in the right place? Yeah. Con. Job 20:3. I have heard the check of my reproach, and the spirit of my understanding causes me to answer. Knowing thou not this of old, since man was placed upon earth, that the triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment?
And who's the hypocrite? Esau. Who's the wicked? Esau. The triumphing of the wicked is but short. Hey, that's it, man. That's it. You guys got a little bit of time. You had what's it called when you go into kindergarten, recess. You had a little bit of recess. And guess what? The fun's over. Now it's time to come back in.
And really, Esau, America ain't really been ruling that long, because like when you go into this, the history of slavery, right? The first slave ships started going out. Well, the natives, the Northern Kingdom was taken first in the 1400s, all right? But then you had the Southern Kingdom in the 1600s. Well, you still had so-called, well,
over 100 years before they got established in the country.
And even after that, you had like the last queen of Hawaii was a so-called black woman in like 1855, man. Over in Russia, they had black people ruling over there, so-called black people ruling over there in like after 1855, man. All right, so what? And then it wasn't until really World War II when America dropped the damn atomic bomb that subjugated all these nations, man.
Powerhouse.
And it solidified them as the number one, the top dog at that point in time, man. So from there, and then if you see right now, they still trying to subjugate the whole earth, like with their central bank and stuff like that. That's why you still got Russia as a different opponent, all right? So they trying to get full control over the whole damn globe. So they time of ruling is real short.
Like we in Revelation 13, it said that he had the power to rain fire from the heavens. Or if we paraphrase it. That was America, man, when they dropped them atomic weapons out there in Japan.
Also, who was able to make war with them? When you compare them to the scriptures together, it's like, yo, damn, what the fuck, man? They got this here heat for real, man.
That's why Iran ain't digging in America's backyard looking for a fight. China ain't doing that. Nobody's doing that, man. It's Esau, mainly America, going around picking the fights, man.
Iran ain't really ever took no damn losses except for
Iran ain't never been in a war. Well, outside of like Pakistan or some shit like that.
Like 200, 300 years ago.
Well, no, they ain't invaded nobody like that, but they fought with Iraq, and I think they fought with somebody else recently. Not recently, not that long ago, but the only people that ever took them out of power was fucking Alexander the Greek, man. Exactly. The only person that ever conquered them like that, man. It's been hotness,
and that wasn't even Iran, you know? That was Persia.
Yeah, it is spiritual. Why Esau's still getting into with these ancient countries.
Exactly, yeah.
Nation. It's the same.
Who's still butthurt.
All right, let's get back to it.
Yeah, so Joel chapter 3, and move down to verse 9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. Prepare war.
And Gentiles right here is talking about these other nations, all right? Go ahead.
Wake up the mighty men.
Wake up the mighty men. Go ahead, because that's talking about these military troops, man. Go ahead.
Let all the men of war draw near.
Plain and simple. Go ahead.
Let them come up.
Let them come up. Meaning what? Get ready, get them, wake them up. Wake up the mighty men. Wake up your men of war and draw them near, man. Let them come up to what? To battle. To battle out in the Valley of Jehoshaphat, man. Out there in the Middle East, like we showed in the map earlier, man. Or basically, if you want to pinpoint it, get Iran and Israel. That whole area in between. That's the land of the Valley of Jehoshaphat. Really, that's the land of Israel. That's really the land that was promised unto the Israelites. Basically, from that river, the Nile, all the way to the what is it? The further east is Tigris, right? Tigris is the furthest east, I believe.
You're talking about the land of Israel?
The land of Israel that was promised unto them. It's between those two rivers, which is basically Iran to over there to Israel, man.
Hey, that's what the Israelis was actually trying to go with that. That's what was part of the so-called ISIS thing when they had ISIL with the Levant region, that area they were trying to carve out from one side all the way to the other side. That basically go back to where our original landmass, man. Because Israel, it was not really just that small.
Hey, actually, get the map real quick. Hey, come on, grab the map again real quick. Yes,
yeah, we meant that earlier. You can't really see it on there.
Oh, okay, so it goes, if you zoom in here, it'll go from pretty much here, Suez, all the way up to Damascus area, Euphrates. So all this is all Israel right here.
Yeah,
Jordan.
Yeah,
all that's supposed to be our land.
which is gonna be. It's gonna be.
There will be.
But that's where the Lord's gathering all these nations, man. The land, no, basically what is supposed to be the land of Israel, the land of the Israelites.
Real quick, hey Kwame, again the map, Shop. YAHAWASHI is talking about this Saudi Arabia, all this area right here. And where's all this commotion going on right now with the ships? Y'all seen about the Iran shooting the oiler, or supposedly shooting the oiler, and then the drone. Oh, that happened right here in the Gulf of Oman. But look, this is the Valley of YAHAWASHI, man. That's where all this action is taking place in there, man.
Yep. And we're not going to get into it, but in Revelation it talks about that the hindermost part, hindermost sea was on him. That's the hindermost sea, and the easternmost sea. That's talking about the Euphrates River. All this is where America's going to be at. And look at Saudi Arabia and all this military bases that he got over there in Saudi Arabia, man.
You got American military bases all throughout that region, strategically placed.
Go ahead, Doc.
It's Joel chapter 3 and verse 10. Beat your plowshares into swords.
And that's how we know that those people over there in the land of Israel, those Amalekites, they're not the chosen people of the Lord. They're the house of Esau. They're the house of Edom. All right, because why? Pursuant to Isaiah chapter 2 verse 4, the scriptures say that people would be beating their swords into plowshares. But here it is, and Joel is talking about, read that again.
Joel chapter 3 verse 10. Beat your plowshares into swords, and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong.
Right, so see, the Lord is talking about beating your plowshares into swords, man. You're turning farming instruments into swords. That means we're in a time of war. But I thought the Lord said that when he would set his people up in his land, that there would be no more war on earth. That goes to show you that those are a bunch of hypocrites over there and liars and deceivers. They're nothing but Amalekites. Okay? Those are Amalekites over there in that land, man. That's why they get offended at the slur kites. If you call them people over there, them damn gutter rats, if you call them kites, they get offended. Why? Because that goes back to the word Amalekite, man. Okay?
And then to go on, like the brother said, when the Lord said he would put his people in the land, he said that death would be taken away, tears, all crying. Man, motherfuckers dying every day over there, man. Weeping their eyes out, got the bombing in Gaza Strip, bombing over here. Come on, man.
Joel chapter 3 and verse 11. Assemble yourselves and come.
Oh, well, select. Verse 10 said, let the weak say I am strong. Now you got these nations like North Korea. You got these nations like Iran that used to be weak. India, Turkey, Syria, Iran.
What? Real quick, if I may make an example of what just happened in these last days. 20, 30 years ago, the president would have said, bomb the hell out of them. But look, since the weak saying they're strong, Trump had a renege on his shit. He said, look, stop that attack, because he knows that the weak are saying they're strong now. He knows what's behind Iran. He knows what the capabilities they got, man.
See, and those are clear examples that the weak nations are saying they are strong, man. All right, where America, the hammer of the whole earth, has to stop their plans to bomb a place for retaliation, because they're in fear of what the retaliation is going to be for what they do, man. Okay?
Joel chapter 3 and verse 11. Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord Yahweh.
The Lord is doing that. The Lord is preparing the stage for a World War III out in the Middle East. Go ahead.
Let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat.
And what are these nations, what are these heathens waking up to? The fact that Esau, Edom is the damn devil spoken of in the scriptures, man. It's clear and evident when you read Revelation 17, when America's own allies, Babylon's own allies, are going to turn on her and burn her with fire. It's clear and evident that the heathen are waking up to the fact that this place is wicked, man. All right, go ahead.
For there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about.
Yep.
Put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe.
The harvest is ripe, man, because at that time, there's going to be so many people there, man. There's going to be so many nations over there, and that harvest is going to be ripe, man. It is the right time, man. When the harvest is ripe, it's the right time to pick it. Well, guess what? When them nations, as the Lord is slowly but surely gathering these nations up in the Middle East, the Lord is slowly approaching that ripe period, man. That time to pick the fruit, man. And what's going to be the fruit? That judgment, man. That's going to be the fruit of the Lord, man. That judgment that occurs over there in the Middle East, man. All right? That place is going to be nothing but a meat grinder, man. All right?
This is Revelations chapter 14. And I'm going to start at verse 14. It says, "And I looked, and behold, a white cloud, and upon the cloud one sat like unto the Son of Man, having on his head a golden crown, and in his hand a sharp sickle. And another angel came out of the temple, crying with a loud voice to him that sat on the cloud, Thrust in thy sickle and reap, for the time is come for thee to reap, for the harvest of the earth is ripe. And he that sat on the cloud thrust in his sickle on the earth, and the earth was reaped."
Hey, and that goes both ways. Because not only are they elect, they're going to be at their right moment to be picked, to get taken up out of here. These wicked are going to be ripe for the picking too. Hence why the Lord is going to kill two birds with one stone. He's going to come down to bring the judgment and at the same time take up the elect. The Lord the Lord is a very smart man. He ain't going to waste his time. Come down, bring the judgment, leave, and then come back to pick up his leg and leave. No, man, the Lord is going to kill two birds with one stone. He's going to come down, bring his judgment, and take up the elect at the same time, man. All right? That's the harvest. That's the ripening that we're looking for, man. And we're slowly approaching that, man. You got you go to Walmart and you buy your bananas. They're still a little green, but they're plenty yellow. You take them home to let them ripen up, and then maybe like a day or two, you start seeing those black spots. That's the times that we're in, man. We're at the time that you just bought the bananas at Walmart. You know? Go ahead.
Joel chapter 3 and verse 13. "Put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come, get you down, for the press is full. The fats overflow, for their wickedness is great."
All right, you can go to Revelation 18 for that. If a brother wants to get that, shalom. Hey, if a brother wants to get Revelation 18 real quick. Verse 3.
This is going right now?
Yeah, all right, sure.
Okay. This is Revelations, back in Revelations chapter 18, verse 3. "For all nations," that's it. Verse 5, Slaki, verse 5. "For her sins," Revelations 18 and 5. "For her sins have reached unto heaven."
Her sins have reached unto heaven, man. Meaning, read that last part again that you read, Brother Strong.
Last part of Joel chapter 3, and it was verse 13. "For their wickedness is great." That was finish it. It's great.
Okay, come on. Yeah, the wickedness is great, man. Why is that wickedness great? Because it reached onto the heavens, man. It's gone up to the Most High. The Most High doesn't smell the wickedness that's being burned onto him, man. He heard and smelled the wickedness that you damn devils and you idiots out there were doing, man. So now the Lord got to come down and he's got to put the hammer down, man. The real hammer. Yep. Clean your shit up, man. The broomstick.
Joel chapter 3 and verse 14. Multitudes in the valley of decision. For the day of the Lord YAHAWAH is near in the valley of decision.
Why did it say multitudes in the valley of decision, man? Because there's going to be that many different nations there. There's going to be Iran. There's going to have Russian troops. There's going to be Chinese troops. There's going to be British troops. American troops. There's going to be Indian troops. There's going to be all types of troops over there. That's that multitude in the valley of decision. Why is it called the valley of decision? Because that's where the judgment is going to be decided, man. Who's going to be destroyed? And the majority of them are going to be destroyed, but at the end it's going to be the mostly Edomites. Okay? AKA Babylon troops.
Joel chapter 3 verse 15. The sun and the moon shall be darkened.
All right, because that's how they're going to be. That's how things are going to be decided, man. The nuclear missiles, man. That's how the Lord is going to decide who's going to be destroyed by that nuclear fire and who's going to who's going to die in slavery, man? Or who's going to have to endure slavery? And who's going to be delivered? It's going to be those nuclear missiles, man. Because at the same time those nukes get shot off, the elect is going to get sealed, and those that are going to get sealed for death are going to be set up too. Okay?
And the stars shall withdraw their shining.
Because of the what's it called? The smoke. All right. Yeah. The clouds are going to be covering up the sun and the moon at night, man. Okay. Go ahead.
Joel chapter 3 verse 16, the Lord Yahawah also shall roar out of Zion and utter his voice from Jerusalem, and the heavens and the earth shall shake, but the Lord Yahawah will be the hope of his people.
And the Lord is going to be the hope of his people, man. The hope of the elect, because they're going to the elect is going to get delivered at that last trump, man. And that's how the Lord is going to Yep, that's how the Lord's going to be uttering his voice from us, man. All right, through us preaching and damn, all right, I forgot about the train of thought. I was preaching. Yeah, the word of the Lord uttering his voice. And our salvation. The salvation, that's going to speak for itself. That's going to be the Lord speaking. This is the way the elect get delivered, man.
Right. Continuing, but the Lord Yahawah will be the hope of his people and the strength of the children of Israel.
Children of Israel. All right, first and foremost, that's talking about the elect. All right, the Lord's going to be our strength. He's going to be the one that delivers us out of these troubles, man. The Lord is going to be the one that gets us past these nuclear missiles, past the plagues, past the famine. All right, the Lord's going to get us through all that. All right, what is that? Isaiah 33:6. Knowledge and wisdom shall be the stability of thy times, man. The Lord is going to get us through all that, man. That's going to be our hope. All right.
Joel chapter 3 verse 17. So shall ye know that I am the Lord Yahawah, your power, dwelling in Zion, my holy mountain.
And the Lord is going to make very well known who he's dealing with in those days, man. In those last days. And the 2/3 of you people are going to learn it the hard way, man. You're going to learn that the Lord truly was dealing with you. All right? You're going to learn that you was a child of the Most High, man. But it's going to be too late for you because you're going to have to dive out of those missiles, man, and be reborn into the kingdom. But the elect, we're going to glorify the Lord. We're going to know for damn sure who the Lord was dealing with in those days, man. All right?
Then shall Jerusalem be holy.
Be holy, be separate. Then that's when the Lord is going to separate us completely through our inward parts, man. Going, giving us those laws, statutes, and commandments where we're not going to be able to go off, man. Putting that into our spirits, putting that in our inward parts like the scriptures say, man. And then that's where we're going to be completely separate from these other people, man. We're not going to be intermingling with these other nations. We're not going to be making friends with these other nations, man. All right? Go ahead.
Then there shall no stranger pass through her anymore. And it shall come to pass in that day that in the mountains shall drop down new wine.
New wine. New wine being what? That new philosophy. The new way of what? The way of YAHAWASHI, man. That's what's going to be brought forth, man. That's going to be that new wine. All right? Because the old wine is done away with. It got destroyed along with Esau's bitch ass and the missiles, man. All right? Go ahead.
And the hills shall flow with milk and all the rivers of Judah.
And that milk was synonymous with that wisdom, man. It said all hills shall flow with milk. So everybody's going to know this wisdom. If your brother wants to get Isaiah chapter 2, go for sure. All right? Because that's how this land is going to, that's how the world is going to flow, man. Once this place gets obliterated and Jacob takes over, all right, the Lord is going to set up Israel in a right state of mind, starting with YAHAWASHI on down, man. And the whole world is going to come to learn of this knowledge, man. That's why the scripture said all hills shall flow with milk. Go ahead and get that in Isaiah.
You want to start? Where you want to start?
You have 2, right? Yeah, 3.
Start at 3.
Well, start at 2.
All right, sure. This is the book of Isaiah chapter 2, verse 2. And it shall come to pass in the last days that the mountain of YAHAWASHI's house shall be established in the top of the mountains, and shall be exalted above all hills, and all nations shall flow into it.
All right, so all nations are going to flow onto the Israelites, the mountains of YAHAWASHI. Why? Because we're going to be the rulers, man. We're going to be the ones ruling this earth. And the people are going to come to us, like we're getting ready to read, because there's a prophecy in Joel, verse 3, that all the hills, meaning all these other nations, are gonna be flowing with that milk, flowing with the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, because they're going to be following the laws by force. Go ahead.
Verse 3. And many people shall go and say, come ye, and let us go up to the mountain of YAHAWASHI, to the house of the power of Jacob.
All right, so these other nations are going to be saying, hey, let's go to the Israelites. Let's go to the people that the Lord is dealing with. Okay, go ahead.
And he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For out of Zion shall go forth the law and the word of YAHAWASHI for Jerusalem.
All right, so there you go. These other nations are going to come to the Israelites in those days to learn of the ways of YAHAWASHI. They're going to learn. They're going to want to learn the ways of righteousness. All right. That's what that scripture is talking about in Joel chapter 3. Read that again, Baba. Sure.
All right. Joel chapter 3 and verse 18. And it shall come to pass in that day that the mountains shall drop down new wine, and the hills shall flow with milk, and all the rivers of Judah shall flow with waters.
Those are those waters. Those are those. That's that milk. All right, that new wine, man. The real truth and understanding, man. That we're gonna have 100%. That we're gonna be ruling the world with, man. And these other nations are gonna come to us. That's why these other hills are gonna be flowing with that milk, man. Okay, because this knowledge is gonna be going throughout, man. Because we're gonna be teaching these other nations, except for Esau, because Esau don't want to learn. Esau's that stubborn ass red-headed stepchild, man, that wants to live in the basement his whole life. You know, that's Esau for you. Go ahead.
And a fountain shall come forth out of the house of the Lord Yahweh. And
that fountain is going to be that wisdom coming out, man. All right, those living waters coming out of all of Israel, man. Go ahead.
And shall water the valley of Shittim. Egypt shall be a desolation, and Edom shall be a desolate wilderness.
Edom shall be a desolate wilderness, man. And hey, pursuing Obadiah, he is going to be desolate. He's going to be made desolate by force. Go ahead.
For the violence against the children of Judah.
There you go. For the violence against the children of Judah, man. What did the so-called white man do? What did Esau, Edom do to the nation of Israel, man? The so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. He put us in slavery. He put us through this homosexuality out here. He subjected our children to transgenderism. All right. He put all this bullshit in the air. He grew all these GMO fruits along with these damn East Indians, man, coming up with these damn formulas that grow worse and worse food as the years go by, man. All that's gonna be repaid, man. Bio sludge. Any type of sludge. All that shit's wickedness, man. All right, go ahead.
Because they have shed innocent blood in their land.
Because they have shed innocent blood in their hands, man. And the Lord said that blood defileth the land. And the land shall only be cleansed by the blood of him that sheddeth. So guess what, you damn devils, you Edomites? Your blood is going to get shed. Your blood is going to get shed, man. Thus saith the Lord. There ain't going to be no peace. We ain't going to have no 800-man rally march for peace out here, man. Because peace ain't coming. Peace ain't coming, man. You can get binoculars and you ain't going to see peace, man. All right? You're only going to see judgment, man. Go ahead. And then if another brother wants to come over to speak.
Joel chapter 3 and verse 20. For Judah shall dwell forever, and Jerusalem from generation to generation. For I will cleanse their blood that I have not cleansed. For the Lord Yahweh dwelleth in Zion.
Read that 21 again.
It's Joel chapter 3 and verse 21. For I will cleanse their blood that I have not cleansed. For the Lord Yahweh dwelleth in Zion.
All right, and the Lord is going to cleanse his people, man. The Lord is going to cleanse Israelites, man. Whether you're going to get cleansed via the missiles or you getting cleansed now, man. The Lord is going to do that, man. All right, but ultimately, if you don't get cleansed by the Spirit now, you're gonna get cleansed by those missiles in the last days, man. Which is gonna be the judgment of these other nations, man. All right. So with that, I'm gonna let another brother come up and speak. Lord willing, you brothers were edified through the Spirit and power of YAHAWASHI MILLSTONE. And with that, shalom.
Brother want to grab, keep on with that brother saying, grab Daniel 12 and 10. We'll start there and go with Spirit. There, because, first and foremost, HALAL YAHAWASHI MILLSTONE, Hashem Rakakadash. All right, like the brother's going into, man, a lot of people, well, all of our people is going to have to be purified one way or another. All right, it's either going to be through the adversity, all right, the tribulation, the suffering, or it's going to be through these nuclear missiles, man. All right, or the famine. All right, whatever sword the Lord got laid up for you, that's the way that Israel is going to get purified, man. Because ultimately, all Israel is going to be saved, as the scriptures say. All right, but what? A lot of people's got to die. A lot of our people, the 2/3 of our people, they got to be put to death, man. They shall know, like the scriptures say, they shall know death by pain. All right, but what? For the 144,000, beginning with them, and the rest of the elect, the 1/3, they're going to be purified another way, man, spiritually, man. But as we speak right now, we're getting purified, man.
This is the book of Daniel, chapter 12, verse 10. It says, many shall be purified and made white and tried.
Many shall be purified and made white and tried, man. Because what? That's meaning they're gonna be made holy, made pure, all right? Found with no blemish, made white. And read that again, Babal.
Daniel chapter 12, verse 10. Many shall be purified and made white and tried.
Many shall be purified and made white and tried, man. So you have to be tried before you get purified, man. All right? You have to be tried before you can be refined, all right? Go ahead.
But the wicked shall do wickedly, and none of the wicked shall understand.
That's right, man. So the wicked is going to do wickedly no matter what, man. Whether we talking about Esau, Edom, which is the wicked, the border of wickedness, or we talking about 2/3 of our people. They're going to do wickedness no matter what, man. You could beat them over the head with this truth for decades, and they just ain't going to get it, man. Because the wicked is going to do wicked, all right? And that's why the scriptures say, let the unjust be unjust. All right, let the just be just, roughly paraphrasing. And nothing you can do is going to go above and beyond what the Lord has already set up. All right, if the Lord set it up that he ain't going to get it, then he ain't going to get it. Go ahead.
It says, and none of the wicked shall understand, but the wise shall understand.
That's right, but the wise shall understand, man. And who are the wise, man? Those that are what matter of fact, get Matthew 25. We're going to find out who the wise are, man. But before that, get that Sirach.
It's Sirach 2 and 5, or Ecclesiasticus chapter 2, verse 5. For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity.
All right, so if gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity, what's that saying? Acceptable men are tried in the furnace of adversity. So you have to go through adversity. You have to go through suffering. All right, they call it the passion of the Christ. Y'all seen the passion of the Christ? The word passion means to suffer, to undergo. You got to go through these hardships to be purified. That's just like gold. That's why it didn't say, it didn't have to reiterate it. It said gold is tried in the. Read it again, Bible Show.
This is Ecclesiasticus chapter 2, verse 5. For gold is tried in the fire.
Yeah, gold is tried in the fire. Go ahead.
And acceptable men in the furnace of adversity.
See, it didn't say acceptable men are tried in the furnace of adversity because it's a given. It's making a comparison between gold and the acceptable men. Acceptable men got to be tried in the furnace of adversity, man. Meaning you're going to catch hell. Your parents are going to, or not your parents necessarily, but the scriptures say that them of your own household should be their foes. All right, you got to go through that. You got to be hated. All right, Lord YAHAWASHI, he said, hey, if they have hated you, know that they have hated me first. Okay? So know that how you're going to be made white and purified is through the furnace of adversity, these trials and tribulations that we're going through, man. Because here it is that the 2/3, they're going to go through the same things they're getting tried too. All right, they're going to have to go through the hour of temptation. They're going to have to go through the time of Jacob's trouble. Difference between them and us is we're going to actually get purified through this time, man. Lord's will we be part of the number. We're going to learn from this. We're going to be purified so that we be made acceptable in the sight of the Lord, man. So we can be presented as that chaste virgin, man. Right? What is it called? The wife when the bride. So the bride, we can be in all white, you know, just like in these modern day weddings, they want to have the woman in all white. Well, that's how we want to be found as, all right, purified in white, made in white through what? Through that furnace of adversity, the trying of our faith, all right. And if you don't want to go through that, then you don't want to be purified, man, because you have to go through hell before you make it to heaven, as they say.
Yeah, because the brother said we want to be made right. Like the brother said, we want to be made right because white represents, purity. So right now, what we're doing, Yahawashi told us to come to the highways and byways and bring them into the marriage. So we're trying to get our people to come into the marriage because that goes back to the 144,000 in the book of Revelation, the 14th chapter, man. Because Yahawashi is the bridegroom, and we trying to purify ourselves so that we can be accepted unto Yahawashi. Him being a high priest, what the Lord said in the law, that you cannot take on a woman who's a harlot, a woman who's not a virgin. Yahawashi is the high priest, man, so we got to be purified, we have to be clean, we have to go through that furnace of adversity. We're that gold that's being refined so they can be accepted.
Jack, hey, didn't the scripture say a man shall be more precious than fine gold?
The gold and Ophir?
Yep. So we're going to be more precious in that because of what? Through this trying of our faith, man. That's why the Lord's going to make us so precious because we're going to have to prove ourselves unto him, man. That's right. And look, that's the servant right there. He proved himself. Now he's worthy of the things that I promised. Right, because ultimately, all of Israel is going to receive the promises, like Romans 9 says. But what we want to be the first fruits of that, man. The first partakers, man, of the benefits. All right, go ahead.
The brother got a precept.
No, go ahead.
This is Isaiah 1:18. It says, "Come now and let us reason together, saith YAHAWASHI. Though your sins be as scarlet, they shall be as white as snow. Though they be red like crimson, they shall be as wool. If ye be willing and obedient, ye shall eat the good of the land. But if ye refuse and rebel, ye shall be devoured with the sword, for the mouth of YAHAWASHI hath spoken."
Yep.
And that's it. Hey, though our sins be as scarlet is a red.
Crimson.
God. Though our sins be as scarlet, they shall be as white as snow. So the Lord's gonna wipe us clean, man. You know what I mean? That's why he said, "Come, let us reason together." Right? And this is him reasoning. Alright? Hey, this is what I plan on doing, man. Y'all, though y'all sins be crimson, red as hell, they're gonna be as white as snow. You're gonna be pure, and that's backing up,
And that's first and foremost to the blood of Yahawashi. But what we can't just let it, he bled, all right, so we're good. We have to show our faith for that, man. That by showing your works, you're gonna show your faith, and then ultimately you're showing that he didn't die for no reason, man. And that's why you be made white and pure. All your iniquities, they get forgotten, man. All your sins, all right, they get acquitted, so to say. Okay, go ahead in that Daniel 12 again, and then get that Matthew 25.
The book of Daniel, chapter 12, verse 10. Many shall be pure.
Start at the top.
All right.
Oh, so it's like you and Daniel,
Daniel chapter 12, verse 10. Many shall be purified and made white and tried, but the wicked shall do wickedly, and none of the wicked shall understand, but the wise shall understand.
That's right, the wise shall understand. Now let's jump to Matthew 25.
This is the book of St. Matthew's, chapter 25, verse 1.
So let's see who's going to be made white, man. The wise. It said the wise. Matthew 25 and what?
1. Something. Right.
Yeah.
Then shall the kingdom of heaven be likened unto 10 virgins, which took their lamps and went forth to meet the bridegroom.
Yeah, the bridegroom's talking about Yahawashi, right? So this is it's symbolic. It's not literally 10. This is using it as a number. This is a parable that the Lord spoke. A dark saying, a mystery. Go ahead.
And 5 of them were wise.
5 of them were wise. Go ahead.
And 5 were foolish.
5 were foolish. Now let's find out why they were wise. Go ahead.
They that were foolish took their lamps and took no oil with them.
So they found out about the truth, and then they just went on with their life, man. Like, okay, well, we knew a little bit of this, but they what? They didn't load that lamp up. Go ahead.
God. Verse 4, but the wise took oil in their vessels.
So the wise, they found out about the truth and kept getting more. They kept seeking, they kept learning. That oil is likened unto wisdom and knowledge and understanding. That's why in Daniel it said that the wise are going to be the ones that are getting purified, man. Because the wise are going to be the ones that put in that effort, man. The ones that they're going to actually seek the Lord in truth and sincerity with all their heart, man. Go ahead.
God, St. Matthew 25, verse 4. But the wise took oil in their vessels with their lamps. While the bridegroom tarried, they all slumbered and slept.
Yeah, man, that's talking about these people. They found out about the truth, man. They just chilling, man. Chilling with the word. Put it in your pocket, like the token, the talent. He just put it in a napkin and put it away, man, or buried it. They just slumber, man, in that spirit of deep sleep, man. Just because you know the truth, don't mean you in the truth. And that's why they call it foolish virgins, man. Because they thought they knew something, but they were foolish the whole time. Because they took the lamps, meaning they knew the truth, but they ain't take no oil with it. They didn't get to understand it. They didn't get the breakdowns. They didn't go into the secular history. They didn't go into no kind of history. They didn't even get the what's it called? The basic Hebrews, man. They didn't go into words. They just said, look, we got the truth, burgers and fringes now. You know, oh man, he going over the cliff.
That must be somebody pet.
Nah, that's loud.
I think that was pretty much.
Yeah, that was it.
But yeah, to continue on this white, you know, and the ones that are going to be purified. Go ahead on that Revelation 7.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 7, verse 9. And after this, I beheld, and lo, a great multitude which no man could number, of all nations, kindreds, and tongues.
So all these nations, after names 144,000, you know, it goes into this great nation of all these the tongues and the nations. And the kindreds, going to that word kindreds, it means of the nation of Israel. But the point I want to get, keep going.
Kindreds, people, and tongues stood before the throne and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes and palms in their hand.
Clothed with white robes and palms in their hand, because what? They were made pure. They were purified. And ultimately, that's the whole nation of Israel, because ultimately the whole nation of Israel is going to be purified, made white. But the majority of our people, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, they just going to have to die. And they wake up in the kingdom of heaven, all right, in righteousness, man. They're not going to have no option. They're not going to have an option whether they want to eat a Baconator or a pulled pork sandwich. They're not going to have an option of whether they want to dress slutty or dress with modest apparel. The men ain't gonna have options whether they want to be a homosexual or not. They're gonna wake up in righteousness, man, so to say. All right, read that again.
Revelation chapter 7, verse 9. After this, I beheld, and lo, a great multitude which no man could number, of all nations, kindreds, people, and tongues stood before the throne and before the Lamb.
Right, that throne, talking about Yahawah, that Lamb is YAHAWASHI. Right? Go ahead.
It says, before the Lamb clothed with white robes.
Ooh, actually, select. Start from the top again, get 2 Ezra 3 and 16. Start from that top again. Verse 9. And stop after it says multitude.
Revelation chapter 7, verse 9. And after this, I beheld, and lo, a great multitude. All
right, because a lot of people say, oh, let's see, this is talking about all nations. Well, let's see what that great multitude is talking about.
This is 2 Ezra chapter 3, verse 16.
2 Ezra 3 and 16.
Con. This is the book of 2 Ezra chapter 3 and 16. And unto him thou gavest Isaac, and unto Isaac also thou gavest Jacob and Esau. As for Jacob, thou didst choose him to thee, and put by Esau, and so Jacob became a great multitude.
Maybe it's 13. Was that great multitude? 3 and 16. Maybe it's 13. Maybe it's first Ezra. Nah, that's not it either. that again? So like, go back to 2 Amos 13, 6, or 3 and 6. So.
Come. Oh, 3 and 6?
Is that what you're reading?
No, I was reading 16. 16.
Oh.
Yeah, that's 16.
Okay, yeah, okay. I'll start at 13. So like it. Start at 13.
2nd Ezra chapter 3, verse 13.
That's because like we like Brother read that great multitude. Yeah, that's the point I wanted to get.
Time. 2nd Ezra chapter 3, verse 13. Now when they lived so wickedly before thee, thou didst choose thee a man from among them, whose name was Abraham.
So it's going to show that the Lord always chose certain people out of the wicked, man. All right, so just like he chose the elect out of the nation of Israel, just like he chose Israel out of the whole nation, man, or out of all the nations. Go ahead.
Verse 14. Him thou lovest, and unto him only thou showedest thy will, and madest an everlasting covenant with him, promising him that thou wouldest never forsake his seed.
Yeah, seed. And you go into the book of Romans, it says seed, not as many, right, but as one. It's talking about the seed of Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, all the way down to the to YAHAWASHI, man. But ultimately, the whole nation of Israel. Go ahead.
Verse 16. And unto him thou gavest Isaac, and unto Isaac also thou gavest Jacob and Esau. As for Jacob, thou didst choose him to thee.
Yep. So the Lord chose Jacob unto himself. Go ahead. Which is Israel.
And put by Esau. And so Jacob became a great multitude.
So Jacob or Israel became a great multitude. Now go back to that Revelation. So Jacob became a great multitude because what? There, first of all, Hosea 1 says Israel is the sand of the sea. And we've been scattered amongst all nations through the curses, through all the different captivities, man. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to pull that Ezekiel 37. I was going to gather them from the four corners of the earth where I scattered them. Or Acts 2, where they talking about the great multitude from these different places. This is Revelation 7 and 9. After this, I beheld, and lo, a great multitude which no man could number.
A great multitude. So now we understand what that great multitude is, because in 2nd Ezra told you that Jacob became a great multitude. Go ahead.
After this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude which no man could number, of all nations and kindreds and people and tongues.
As a matter of fact, somebody get kindreds real quick in that verse. Revelation 7 and 9. Because see, the people just want to read over the text, but don't want to get understanding. They just want to blurt out how they feel or what they've been told, man. All right. So we know what the multitude is talking about. The next one said, of all nations, the Lord said that he will scatter us among all nations in the Deuteronomy 28. And kindreds is the next one up. Who got it? Anybody got it?
I got it.
Okay. So let's see what kindreds in the Greek is. And there's one that specifically is talking about this one, this verse. Go ahead. Yep. Yeah, that's it. A is the part. B, A, all of it really.
Too late. All right.
Late.
And it says a tribe. Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, exactly.
In the New Testament, all the persons descending from one of the 12 sons of the patriarch Jacob.
So the kindreds are any of those descending from the patriarch Jacob, man. That's plain and simple. So again,
James 1 and 1.
James 1 and 1. Yeah. Scatter the pride. Exactly, man. All right. So the kindred. All right. That's why even Paul said it in Romans 9. My kindred, according to the flesh.
Who are Israelites?
Who are Israelites? Well, you can't get away from it. The kindred. See, you say kindreds. It's talking about everybody. No, it's talking about the descendants of the nation of Israel.
Hey, ultimately, look, this was written by us for us. How we say that's my kinfolk over there, man. Next to kin, man. Kinsman. You know, this is my kinsman.
Yeah, so
according to the flesh.
Like if I wrote a letter to my mom and my sister read it, it has nothing, and I said, listen, you need to do this and do that. This is for you and this is for them. But wait a minute, if my sister reads it, she's going to think it's for her. But does it make it so? No, it doesn't. She's just not reading it with context.
Yeah, you can be with your woman or something like that, and again, a woman could be writing you a letter, calling you on the phone, telling you she loves you, but Bitch, that's my kinfolk. That's my mama talking to me, my grandmama talking to me, my sister talking to me, my little niece talking to me, man.
Jake love using that word. That's my kin right there.
Yeah, that's my kinfolk.
That's my kinfolk, yeah.
Who you on the phone? Who you on the phone with? That's my kinfolk. Don't worry about that. You know?
All right, go ahead. Finish that chapter up, or finish that verse up.
Revelation 7 and 9. After this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude, which no man could number, of all nations, and kindreds, and people, and tongues, stood before the throne.
So people and tongues. So it don't matter. Well, but it doesn't matter what language they were speaking. Yeah, kind of like, hey, get the. Nah, never mind. Let's keep going. So it don't matter what language they be speaking, because ultimately the Lord was going to gather them out of all the nations, man. You gotta bring it out.
This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 37, and verse 21. And say unto them, thus saith Yahweh power, behold, I will take the children of Israel from among the heathen, whether they be gone, and will gather them on every side and bring them into their own land.
That's right. So the Lord gonna gather us from every side, man. Every country, every nation. He gonna gather us up, man, from where we've been scattered. All right. That's why in the book of Tobit 13 it says, "Go among the Gentiles and teach them," because we've been scattered among them. As a matter of fact, get that Tobit 13 and like verse 2, and then we finish that verse up in Revelation, and then we'll keep going. Because you got to realize. And this is a cut right here as well about the Gentiles. When in the New Testament, when it refers about the Gentiles getting salvation, it's talking about the Israelites, man. It ain't talking about Esau, Moab, Ishmael. Because think about it. Why would Paul? They weren't even in the Greek Empire. They were in the Roman Empire. Why would Paul say there's neither Greek nor Jew? Why wouldn't he say there is neither Roman nor Jew? Why didn't he say there ain't no Mongolians or Jew? He said there's no Greek or Jew because it goes back during the time of Alexander the Greek, when they were getting Hellenized and they became Greeks. They started following the customs of the Greeks. They started speaking the Greek tongue, taking on all the customs. That's why he said that. He didn't say there's neither Roman nor Jew, because he knew the history, man. He knew that there was Israelites going off of Greek ways, man, thinking they were Hellenes, all right, or Hellenistas, so to say. Get that real quick.
You want me to start from 2?
Just get to the point.
All right, come. Tobit 13, verse 3. Confess him before the Gentiles, ye children of Israel.
It confesses him again among the Gentiles, man, meaning the other nations. Go ahead.
Ye children of Israel, for he hath scattered us among them.
He has scattered us among them. That's why in Matthew 24 said that this word shall be preached to all the world, man. Because what? All the nations need to hear this word. Because what? We scattered among all the nations, man. You got something to bring it out, brother.
Yeah, this is a book called The Jews Among Greeks and Romans, a diaspora source book. So this goes to show you that we was dwelling among the Romans and the Greeks, all right? Now this is page 7. Now it says, King Antiochus to Xerxes, his father, greeting. Now this is talking about Antiochus the Great Antiochus. This would be the third, not the fourth. Who basically did. Yeah,
this is the one that was captured at Rome.
If you are well that is good, I too am in sound health. Now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna jump through to let you know it's talking about us rather than everything else he's telling to this individual. Having consulted with my friends as to what I should do, I have decided to transport with their effects 2,000 Jewish families from Mesopotamia and Babylonia to the fortress and most important places of Lydia and Phrygia. For I am persuaded that they will be loyal guardians of our interests because of their pity to their God, and I know that they have the testimony of my forefathers to their good faith and zeal in doing what they are asked. Because remember, when Alexander the Greek came up to some of our priests, they bowed down to him and said, "You are who the scripture was talking about."
I think he actually bowed down to them.
Oh, Salakia. Salakia went off. Oh, he bowed down to them because basically they told him. Yep. Salakia, I went off. Verse. I think I'm in the scripture. I wish therefore to transport them, even though the enterprise is difficult, and I have promised them that they may use their own laws. So the point of me bringing this out is that prior to Antiochus Epiphanes IV, his father said we can still keep our laws. That's why when you go into First Maccabees, it said, then there came a wicked root. which is certainly Epiphanes, Antiochus Epiphanes the fourth.
Yep.
So when his son came about, he was the one that said no. We cutting all that off. So I just want to back the
Started
brother up on that.
sacrificing swine on the altar and
That's how
whatnot.
we got Hellenized.
Yeah, same. And really they were getting Hellenized already, but they were still able to keep their law, they were still able to keep their laws, the statutes and commandments until Antiochus the fourth. But where were we at?
I was done on that. I was going to for about scattering.
Okay, yeah, get that, and then we'll go back to
This Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 64. And Yahweh shall scatter thee among all people.
Yeah, the Lord is going to scatter us among all people, like we read in Revelation 7, that we would be. It said, and he know a great multitude, and peoples is one of those things that it mentioned. Go ahead.
Deuteronomy 28 and 64. And Yahweh shall scatter thee among all people, from one end of the earth, even unto the other. And there thou shalt serve other gods which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone.
So that's self-explanatory. Go back to that, finish that Revelation 7 and get that Revelation 5.
Revelation 7 and 9 again?
Yeah, just finish it off. Or read it and then just finish. And then go.
This is Revelation chapter 7, verse 9. After this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude which no man could number, of all nations and kindreds and people and tongue, stood before the throne and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes and palms in their hands. And that
was it. Yeah, that was it on that. All right, so it's talking about. Well, let's just go to Revelation 5. Go ahead. He got it.
Okay. Con. This is Revelation chapter 5, verse 4. And I wept much, because no man was found worthy to open and to read the book.
Now go jump down to verse 9. Just go to the point.
Revelations 5 and 9. And they sung a new song, saying, Thou art worthy to take the book and to open the seals thereof.
Now, you brothers pay attention now. Because remember we just read in Revelation 7 about the peoples and the kindreds. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Thou art worthy to open the book, to take the book and to open the seals thereof.
That's talking about YAHAWASHI. Go ahead.
For thou wast slain and has redeemed us.
It said he was slain and has redeemed us. Go ahead.
To the Most High by thy blood out of every kindred and tongue and people and nation.
All right, so these people, which is the same thing it correlated to in Revelation 7 about the people and the kindreds and the tongues, right? So it's talking about the same people. Go on to the next verse. It's going to specify who those people are. Go ahead.
Verse 10. And has made us unto our power kings and priests, and we shall reign on the earth.
All right, so it said it specified who those people were. Get that. Start at verse 4.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 19, verse 4. Have you seen what I did unto the Egyptians, and how I bare you on eagle's wings and brought you unto myself?
Keep going.
Now therefore, if you will obey my voice indeed and keep my covenant, then you shall be a peculiar treasure unto me above all people, for all the earth is mine.
And here's the point.
And you shall be unto me a kingdom of priests and a holy nation.
A kingdom of priests and a holy nation. Keep on, finish it off.
These are the words which thou shalt speak unto the children of Israel.
So who was that talking about in Revelation chapter 5? The children of Israel. And in that Revelation chapter 5 shows you who that Revelation chapter 7 is talking about. You see how the puzzle works? You just gotta align the pieces together, you know? So Revelation chapter 7 is talking about Revelation chapter 5, and then Revelation chapter 5 and 10 tells you about the kings and priests, and the Exodus 19 gives you the answer to that. I mean, it's that simple. That's who that great multitude that the Lord's coming to save is. That ain't no heathens, all right? The Lord's coming to save his people because he promised it unto them, man, and he's bound by his word, and he ain't gonna break it, not even for his own name's sake, all right? That's why Moses pleaded with him with his own words. He's like, man, you gonna kill. Wait, you said this. You said this, and what, the Lord gonna break his own word? He ain't gonna do that, man. That's why I tell brothers, when you pray, use the words of the Lord to pray, man, because those are his words. So you reinforce your prayers with them. All right. Anybody got anything else? Now we close out.
All right, but with that, we want to give all praise, glory, and honor
to Yahawah, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakha Kodash.
Double honors to the elder apostles, great millstone. Salutations of much love to you all came out there pushing out his word in true sincerity. Shalom.
Shalom. Shalom.
Quick one, man. Just a quick one.
What's a lot?
Good.
That's it. In session.